What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast. This is episode number 2, first one of the off season. We are so stoked to be back and talking to you guys once again. And with me, all three of my co-hosts are with me this week. We were able to all make it together. I'm going to start with the guy below me. He's the only Yankee fan on the panel, Mike Haber. Mike Haber, how you doing?
Doing great, Joe. I'm glad to be back. I feel like it's been a while since I've got to chat with you guys, so I'm thrilled to be here. So thanks.
I have one question for you, Mike. How is the knee? We know you tore your meniscus during the season. I know you've been on the IL ever since.
Yeah, I think I'm a bench player now. I think I'm off the IL. I'm in physical therapy 3 times a week, 3 times a week. But I'm walking upstairs now. So
all right.
I know.
All right. We're a big kid now. Speaking of big kids, he's down there in the corner in Colorado. Jason Ashby, how are you doing this evening, big kid?
Doing great, Joe. Fall's in the air out here, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's postseason baseball. It's exciting, and yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad that all 4 of us are on together.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a historic show. Terrific of you to be with us, and of course, for the first time this year, he is the reigning, defending, undisputed world heavyweight champion of the Bigs, the 3-time champion, and our commissioner, Ben Nissman. Benny, how's it feel, buddy?
Feels glorious, man. Can't even describe it. Thanks for having me on today. We're clinging on to the last bit of good weather here in the tri-state area, but it's coming to an end, as is the baseball season. We're obviously going to miss it, but this has been a hell of a postseason. Most of these games have been extremely exciting and grueling till the last pitch. So looking forward to seeing how it ends and looking forward to discussing some baseball with you guys today.
This is going to be a terrific week. What we have for you guys this week is the brainchild of Jason Ashby. Jason has assembled a list of 21 current MLB players. We are going to read off their credentials for the Hall of Fame, and we are going to give our other 2 hosts here 1 question and 1 guess. And once we've got that player named, 5-minute discussion, and then we will all have an answer whether or not that player is in or out of the Hall of Fame. All right? So let's get this thing started. Jason, I'm going to give you the first one here, and we will begin the discussion with what I think is a pretty great name to be leading this off. And for the record, Miguel Cabrera will not be discussed. Clayton Kershaw will not be discussed. Justin Verlander will not be discussed. Those guys we feel are already locks for the Hall of Fame anyway, and a discussion like that would just be, oh yeah, that's that guy, and he's in.
Yeah.
And moving on. So, yeah. Jason, take it away with the first name.
All right. Yeah, this is a great one to start with. So this guy turned 38 years old today. Happy birthday. His career, he's got 219 wins, 3.41 ERA, 2,809 strikeouts, 1 Cy Young, a 6-time All-Star, 6-time Gold Glove, 2 times ERA title, and a 2-time Silver Slugger.
Ben Nissman, let's start with you.
Is he currently in this postseason?
Yes.
Yes.
I know the answer.
Mike Haber, do you want to ask your question?
Ben, what's the answer?
There's a good one to do.
Can I reveal it?
Absolutely.
I think it's Zach Greinke.
It is Zach Greinke.
It is Zach
Greinke. Yeah, he absolutely turns 38 years old today, and the time will begin in just a moment once I figure out how to do this from the screen share. Just Zach Greinke, is he in or is he out, Ben? Start there.
I think he's 100% in my opinion. It's been to numerous playoffs. Not that that's something that he necessarily controls, but I think after he kind of finally found his groove on the Kansas City Royals, and then he went to the Milwaukee Brewers, I believe, for Alcides Escobar and Lorenzo Cain in 2011, and was unbelievable on the Dodgers. Was a good player on the Angels, from what I remember.
I had
that
actually
20
forgotten he was on the Angels.
Yeah, for a hot
Mhm.
minute. 2015 was an amazing year. And I just feel like he's always been in discussion as one of the top pitchers in the league, if not the whole sport. So without looking at his numbers too much, the ERA for me is enough if he retired right now to be a Hall of Famer.
Okay. Mike Haber, how you feel on this guy?
I'm on the fence, honestly. I agree with a lot of things Ben has said. I think his win totals are a little low for what you would normally look for in a Hall of Fame pitcher.
He's won double-digit games in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 seasons. He's won double-digit games.
Yeah.
How many seasons was he over 500? Sorry to cut you off.
That's all right. 1, 2, 3, nope, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those 13 seasons. He went 10 and 14 in 2010 as the only outlier.
I guess my concern would be like, so if the win totals aren't high, like you need some, in my opinion, you need something to like really stand out. Or the win totals are fine, but they're not like exceptional.
Right.
His ERA is not exceptional. His strikeout total for the innings that he's pitched are not acceptable. Not exceptional. Sorry.
Right.
They are acceptable.
I mean, he's 200 strikeouts from 3,000. You know, I think he's got 2 years left in him. What about you guys?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
I mean, he pitched well in this last game in the playoffs, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he'll pitch till he's 40.
The word is serviceable is what he was this year. A 4.16, 11 and 6, 171 innings. Like
that's good.
You can't ask a whole lot more of a 37-year-old guy unless it's Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander. Like, okay, so this guy is almost that good.
Yeah, 4.16 ERA in this day and age is good enough to be a number 3 starter. Not a great number 3 starter, but definitely a guy that you hand the ball to.
Yeah.
And that win-loss ratio is pretty impressive. I didn't even realize that.
Postseason numbers, of course, something we have to think about with Zach Greinke. Career 4.29 ERA in the postseason, 4 and 6 in 109 innings with 97 strikeouts. Not the best postseason pitcher, but has been in his late career. He pitched 6 innings back in 2020, 2 earned. Of course, we know what he was doing in the World Series in 2019. That final game there.
He was good.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was great. Is he a clutch pitcher? I don't think that's really the word I would use. Would I use the word compiler? You know, where is he going to stack up? Who could we compare him to that's already in the Hall of Fame is a good question.
Well, and Baseball Reference kind of does that for us. There is that similarity score that's basically an algorithm based on some math that Bill James put together. But yeah, if you look at that, I mean, you see Chris Schilling, you see Justin Verlander, you see Pedro Martinez, you see Roy Halladay. Like,
but you also see David Cohn and Bob Welch and Kevin Brown. So like, this isn't a slam dunk for me. I don't think that this is as big a slam dunk as Ben is making it out to be. I think I'm with you. I think I'm with Ben on saying that he makes it. I just think if you can put Mike Messina in, you can put Zach Greinke in. That's kind of my guy I point to and go, that's the guy that I think this is better than. Mike Haber, as a Yankee fan, I'm saying that. Do you think Greinke is better than Messina?
I don't think so. I think he's got a better ERA than Messina without looking at the stats off the top of my head. But I think Messina is blowing him out of the water in wins.
So, time is up. In or out of the Hall of Fame, Zach Greinke? I'm going in barely. Ben?
Yeah, I put him in for sure.
Jason?
He's in.
Mike Haber?
He's in.
All right. He is in. Slam dunk for the first guy. Jason, I'll go ahead and take the next one here. This man is 39 years old right now. He has 758 runs scored, 2,112 hits, 171 career home runs, 998 RBIs. He is a 280 hitter with a 330 on base percentage lifetime and a 733 on base plus slugging. He is a 10-time All-Star. He has 2 championships. He has 9 gold gloves. He has 1 silver slugger. And he has 4 platinum gloves. I go to Mike Haber first.
Platinum gloves. Division. Currently.
NL Central. Benjamin?
I want another guess besides the fact that I missed how many career home runs he has.
I could give you that. 171 career home runs.
Okay. No MVPs though, right?
No. The highest he ever finished in MVP voting. Will that give you something?
No.
The highest he ever finished was 3rd, but I won't give you the year.
You didn't tell us what position he plays, right?
I did not.
Is he an outfielder?
He is not. Mike Haber, your guess.
What was the home run total again?
171.
Near 71. Which is really low, which means he's probably a catcher if I had to guess. So I'm gonna go Yadier Molina.
You are in fact correct. This is Yadier Molina's stat line as it stands right now. 39 years old. We know he's going to be back next season. So he's got 1 more. He's not even going to reach 200 home runs in his career. He's going to have 1,000 RBIs. He's not going to score 1,000 runs. He will not get to 2,500 hits. Who's going to tell me that this man's a lock for the Hall of Fame?
Well, firstly, I think you got to stack him up against the other catchers that are in the Hall of Fame, which and it's hard to start, like, the benchmark is going to be a Johnny Bench and a Mike Piazza
and a Pudge Rodriguez.
I
think Pudge Rodriguez is a really good comp here.
Yeah.
With defensively. If you want to tell me that Yadier Molina is getting in based on his defense, then Pudge Rodriguez is the go-to. Because this guy's a 13-time Gold Glover, a 14-time All-Star, and has an MVP. Like, Pudge Rodriguez is like head and shoulders better than him.
Yeah, he also has, for what it's worth, a lot of steroid allegations that circle around the name Pudge Rodriguez, more so than a Yadier Molina. What is Molina's postseason numbers?
Let's see. Postseason batting. In 102 games, he has a 277 batting average. He has 4 home runs, 36 RBIs, a 330 on base percentage, and a 692 OPS.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's
fine. Like, that's what it is. No, it's fine.
It's not fine. No, it's not fine. It's better than average.
Oh,
we're talking about over 270 batting average.
Yeah, 270. He's a 275 lifetime hitter.
I mean, I know.
Sorry, he's a 280 lifetime hitter.
Okay, but when it counts the most, he's not.
Edgardo Alfonso at best.
No, I don't agree.
Here's my point. It's the Hall of Fame is subjective, right? Like there is no bar that you have to reach to get to the Hall of Fame. So the question that I ask is, how valuable was this player to the team that he played on, and how valuable was he every single season? And the St. Louis Cardinals would not be the St. Louis Cardinals without this player for the past decade. And I think that to have that effect on the pitching staff, a batting order, even like the clubhouse, I feel like this guy, it's immeasurable what he brings to the table. So he's a lock for me personally.
So, okay.
Yeah, me too. How many seasons?
Can you compare? I want to go to Mike Haber's point here, because this is an intangible that we can't get out of numbers, right?
No.
I just want to hear a name that he would equate this to in a different franchise. Is this Derek Jeter? Is that what this is? Like
No, because Jeter's numbers are far and away better than.
it's a different argument.
Yeah.
It's
Right. It's the fact that, well, again, he spent, it's 14 years, 18 seasons with one team, and as a full-time player for all 18 years, it's, again, the numbers don't measure up, but it's kind of like Tony Gwynn.
Thank you. That's another good one. But Tony Gwynn, again, is like a 330 lifetime hitter and has like 4,000 hits.
Yeah, and like 100 strikeouts for his career.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's those intangibles, what he brings, that he brings up leadership. He's been there forever, and he has produced. It's not like he's just been like, a scrub for 18 years on the Cardinals.
Right.
Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's had bad seasons too.
Sure.
His 23-year-old season in 2006, he hit 216. He's never hit more than 22 home runs in a season. He's never driven in more than 82 RBIs in a season.
I know, but but that's kind of unfair to hold him to the standard when he's a catcher. You know what I mean? He's not.
Yeah, and also
because again, I'm comparing him to Yadier Rodriguez.
But I don't think that's a fair comparison. Pudge Rodriguez had a lot more power. It's just. And another thing is that Pudge had an opportunity to DH sometimes. Yadier never got an opportunity to be a designated hitter.
That's fair.
And you mentioned 2006. 2006, his regular season may have been bad, but how good was he in the postseason?
Yeah, it wins them the World Series.
Yeah.
And how many seasons did he bat over 300?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think that's pretty decent.
I just want this question answered, and then we're gonna go to whether he's in or he's out. I go back to that question that I asked: is this Derek Jeter? Is this David Wright to the Mets? Is this, I don't know, Jimmy Rollins to the Phillies? Like, I'm just is it Chipper Jones to the Braves? Like, is this that kind of guy, the leadership long-term guy on that team?
I feel like it's like a Joe Mauer of the Twins situation.
Yeah, and that's another great name to bring up because Mauer is Hall of Fame eligible, and he's better than Molina, and he's got an MVP and like batting titles to his resume. He's
a rookie of the year.
Yeah. All right. I still say he's out. His numbers are no good. Like, they're literally just no good. And when you stack him up against all-time great catchers and current catchers around him in the same generation, he was not as good. All you have is his defense, which is fine tangibly. But if you're saying he is the Cardinal to go in, I can sort of go like this with that and just say, okay, let the Cardinals have their day. So he's out for me, but I could see him getting in as like the Cardinal, right? Ben?
I didn't find Ryan Sandberg's numbers to be that great compared to other third basemen, and he's in. I didn't find Ozzie Smith to be otherworldly offensively, but an incredible defensive player. He's in. I think Yadier Molina is definitely a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I think a lot of the reasons that Mike explained, the intangibles, and you remember that he is always a dangerous threat offensively. He was never like a gimme, for a pitcher. He's not an automatic out. He's to me a Hall of Famer. The success that the Cardinals have had, this guy's the big reason why I say he's in.
That's what I mean. Like, if he's Mr. Cardinal to go in, I get it.
I think he's better than David Wright. Like, when you compare like third baseman and catcher, like if you can look at it in that way, I would rather have Yadier Molina on my team for a career than David Wright.
Interesting. Jason, in or out?
He's in, even if it's, maybe it's the veterans vote or whatever it is that happens, down the road. But
how Harold Baines got in?
Yeah, I think he makes it in. Makes it in.
Mike Haber?
I think he's in. I do have a clarifying question though. Are we saying whether we think, like, whether we would put him in or whether we think he's going to get in?
whether we would put him in.
Yeah.
Whether we would.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
I
the
would
other
not
way
put him
around.
in. Yeah. I would
Okay.
not put him in.
Okay, I think he's going to make it in. I would also probably put him in.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Jason, we're up
All
on
right.
the next one here.
This guy is 32 years old. He has 127 career wins, a 3.31 ERA, 1,948 strikeouts, 4-time All-Star, 3 rings, a World Series MVP, an NLCS MVP, and a 2-time Silver Slugger.
Ben Nissman, we will start with you.
Oh my God! If you give me enough time, I'll get it. You're just gonna put me on the spot.
You may ask a question.
Can I ask what year he was the NLCS MVP?
No, you cannot ask that question.
You can. We won't answer you though.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't ask what team he was on his rookie season.
I mean, you could.
No, okay. What division does he play for?
Currently, NL West. Mike Haber, your question.
NL West?
NL West.
Can you run through some of those stats again? 32 years old.
32 years old, 127 wins, 3.31 ERA, 1,948 strikeouts, 4 All-Stars, 3 rings, a World Series MVP, an NLCS MVP.
I know who it is.
Sluggers.
I got it.
Is it Madison Bumgarner?
It is
Yeah.
Madison Bumgarner.
I got it the same second you got it then.
Yes, it is in fact Madison Bumgarner as I share the screen here. All right.
You didn't say he was a World Series MVP. He was a World Series MVP.
He was a World
I said
Series
World-
MVP. I said
I said
that.
World Series MVP.
We both
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Yeah. So, 127 wins. Again, only 13 years in the league. This is the youngest guy on the list that we have. We actually eliminated 2 31-year-olds from the list before the show started because they're in their prime currently. And like Madison Bumgarner, though he is only 32 years old, we kind of are starting to see the beginning of the end if we're being honest with ourselves here. The guy has a lot of mileage on his arm for as young as he is. He has over 2,000 innings already. And he has how many in the postseason? 102 and a third in the postseason. Like, it's a lot of work on a left-handed guy. We've already seen a decline. Where are we at with Madison Bumgarner? Mike Haber, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no, actually. I don't think that he's got the numbers enough of the numbers to back it up. I don't think he's had a couple of decent regular seasons. As I guess like 18 wins is his biggest total there. But like when we think of Bumgarner, we think of those three seasons that he pitched in the World Series and he was untouchable. But outside of that, is Bumgarner a Hall of Famer? I don't think so.
I think we also think about his home runs, right? Like one of the most prolific hitting pitchers in our generation.
Sure.
But that's not enough to get you in either.
Not when Shohei Ohtani is now a person. And
No, not at all.
Ben, where are you at with Madison Bumgarner?
You know, one thing I think Mike forgets is that there actually was one postseason where I think he actually wasn't so good. I think it was 2012 where he got roughed up in a couple of starts.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
22-year-old in the NLCS. He went 3 2/3, gave up 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, a walk, 2 strikeouts, a 14.73 ERA in that series against St. Louis. Yet they still won. And in the DS of that same postseason against Cincinnati, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned, a homer, a walk, 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He wasn't great.
No, he wasn't. Now, obviously, the good outweighs the bad and what he's done in those 3 postseasons.
His postseason record 8-3 with a 2.11 ERA, 102 1/3 with 87 strikeouts. He's really good in the postseason, and you know who this is to me? Kurt Schilling.
Okay.
Interesting.
This is Kurt Schilling. Like,
yeah,
he's really good in the postseason.
length, but...
He had some really nice seasons regularly, but like Bumgarner would never want to sigh, and he's not going to. Like, Bumgarner never like led the league in ERA. He was just good. And Schilling was just good. He was just really good in October. I think that's who this is. And for me, I don't think that guy makes it either.
I feel like if it, you talked about how it's only been 13 seasons, but he's only 31. He'll be 32 next year. So
no, he's 32 now.
Oh, he's 32 now, so he'll be 33. So look, if he can put together, another 4 or 5 years of his, 200 innings, but I don't see that happening. So yeah, I right now I'm down on him.
Okay. So Mike Haber says he's out. Jason Ashby says he's out. I'm out. Benji?
Yeah, probably the same thing. I think he would have to throw 4 or 5 more good seasons where he has an ERA sub 3.5 or even sub 3 for a couple of those seasons. I don't see that happening.
Because the thing is,
NL West facing the Padres, Rockies, Dodgers, Giants. That ain't happening.
But because he did have even in the regular season, he had 1, 2, 3, 4 straight seasons of sub 3 ERA while pitching over 200 innings.
Sure.
It's very good.
Those are really good numbers.
Durable. He was very. I owned him. I think 3 of those seasons. He was good.
So it's just a matter of whether he can find that again. Maybe now after putting 2020 to bed, he looked better this year. Can he build on that?
Yeah. I'm sure he'll for the rest of his career, he will have another couple of good seasons, maybe even another couple of great seasons. I don't think that's going to be enough to get him in. I say no for me, and I don't think he ends up getting it.
I'm with you on that. Mike Haber, same?
No. Yes, same.
Yes. Jason, so the clean sweep, Madison Bumgarner out for us.
He is
out altogether.
Yep.
Out.
All right. Next player up. He is 41 years old currently. He has 1,031 runs scored. He has 1,913 hits, 449 home runs career, 1,238 RBIs. He is a 277 lifetime hitter with a 346 on base percentage and OPS of 873 lifetime. He is a 7-time All-Star, a 4-time Silver Slugger, and was an ALCS MVP. Name that gentleman. I will start with Mike Haber. Question first.
All right. He's 41 years old.
He's currently 41 years old.
How many home runs again?
Lifetime 449.
Lifetime 449 home runs. I feel like I'm missing someone real fucking obvious right now. 41 years old. What's his team in the postseason this year?
Yes. Ben Nissman.
What division did he begin his career in?
AL Central. I'm sorry, AL West.
NL Central.
You're right. NL Central. I'm sorry. He made his debut for somebody in the NL Central. I didn't even catch that. I just remember his first season.
Oh, so his first big time season was in the AL West.
Yes. But he debuted for a team in the NL Central.
Is it Nelson Cruz?
It is Nelson Cruz.
Yes, it is.
Good job. Nelson Cruz. So, this is a hell of a stat line when all is said and done here for Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
He could hit 500 homers, and I think that automatically locks him in. He's a pretty good hitter. I didn't realize that he was a lifetime 277 hitter.
And what's crazy is it all started, when he was 28. He wasn't obviously he's 41 years old now, but we're not talking about a guy who started at 22, 23.
Made his debut at 24 years old and didn't have his first good season until he was 28.
Yeah. Literally out of obscurity, I feel because he played, four seasons or so before that big season.
Mm-hmm. Went to the World Series with the Rangers in both years, in 11 and 12, and lost. And in fact, if you have a
10 and up, Joe.
Sorry, 10 and 11. 10 and 11. You're right. If you have a Nelson Cruz moment in your head, is it that he was in right field when he probably shouldn't have been at the end of that World Series? Is that one of the memories you have of him?
No, it's not. But I mean, that's the best baseball season / best postseason I think I'll ever see. That could be another show when we talk about our favorite baseball seasons. But for me, the thing that I continue to remember is that he was a guy that was suspended for PEDs. And
this is the first guy with that topic to come up.
Yep.
Yeah. And right, specifically suspension, right?
Right.
And unless the narrative changes on those guys, I don't see him getting in, because that's, to me, a big time memory. I mean, even though over time we started to fall in love with Bartolo Colon as Mets fans, and he, like, the longer he went, the more we loved to see Bartolo Colon. It's hard to forget that Bartolo Colon was suspended, and it was something, at least, that at that time I think affected the Oakland Athletics, that they couldn't have him. So to me, that's the thing that I keep remembering. As great as he is, and I do think he'll get to 500 home runs, I think he could get to 600 home runs, and if the narrative doesn't change, he will not be in.
Okay. Jason, where do you stand on him?
Yeah, and that's a great point, because so far we haven't seen any of those guys, the Bonds, the McGuires, the Sosas, the Canseco's. We haven't seen anybody get, really anywhere close to making it in. So it's for me, it's tough to peg that. Look, the numbers absolutely warrant it, and especially if he gets 500 home runs, that to me that's a lock. The PEDs, that's a tough call. And I think you're right. I think we have to kind of wait and see what happens with these other guys. But if it was right this second, like I would say yes. I'd put him in.
You put him in.
Yeah.
Mike Haber.
I think I would too. I think you have to think about, so he served his time for the PEDs in what year?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
I'm gonna try to guess. Is it 20? It's either 20. It's somewhere between 2014 and 2016.
It's 2013.
Damn.
He was suspended 50 games for violating the drug policy, part of the biogenesis scandal. It's the same one that A-Rod tried to buy his way out of.
Yeah.
Blamed it on an error in judgment after a stomach bug went undiagnosed, and he lost 40 pounds before the season.
Okay. So let's theoretically say that he served his, so he used PEDs before that season. But so now let's take a look at his age 33 through age 41 season.
He actually got better after it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking here, is like, he's proven that he's withstands the test of time, and he's done it at a high level for the past decade, and like after his PEDs. So for me, he's a lock.
So here's a quick question, and now I wanted to ask this about Greinke too, but especially for you, Mike, since he's a lock, what hat does he wear? Yeah, because he's spent most of his career in Texas, but most of his good years were not in Texas. So what hat do you put him in?
Oh, that is a great question. Because
after 8 years in Texas and then 4 years in Seattle, like those were his top two as far as length.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to put him in Seattle if you're not going with Texas.
Yeah. or do you put him in Texas? But I mean,
Yeah.
he had more home runs in 4 years with Seattle than he did in 8 years with Texas. So
Wow.
All right, this is where we have to draw the line. The question is, and this is a question both on where you stand with PEDs and where you stand on Nelson Cruz, right? I think part of Nelson Cruz's case, if I'm Nelson Cruz, I want to see David Ortiz make it next year so that I know that somebody can get in that way, right? Then we'll worry about everything else. Would I put him in? Yes, I think I would. Ben, do I think he gets in? I think the jury's out on that. And I think David Ortiz is the first test of that. Ben, in or out?
Is your thing with David Ortiz the fact that he's a designated hitter, Joe?
No, it's the fact that he was also suspended for PEDs.
David Ortiz was never suspended for PEDs.
Wasn't he on the Mitchell report then?
He might have been, but he was never suspended. Manny Ramirez was.
Right. No, David Ortiz had a positive test. I know that.
I don't think he was ever suspended. I'm almost positive he was never suspended. And
he did have a positive test in 2003. I don't know if he was suspended, but he did have a positive test in 2003.
Okay. All right. Well, David Ortiz is still a good example of that because they're similar hitters. They were both DHs for a long period of time. And even if he wasn't suspended for it, you still have a positive test on David Ortiz. So he's not clean. That's what I think Nelson Cruz looks at and goes, well, maybe they'll let me in.
Right. Personally, I would put him in. Do I think he gets in? I'll say it again. Unless the narrative changes on these types of guys, I don't see him getting in. There's certain guys that will always have those votes, and they will never vote for those guys.
Right.
There's Bonds has not gotten in, and Bonds is, of the steroid guys, the best, if not the best baseball player ever on a planet,
Right.
And we'll never see Mark McGwire or a Sammy Sosa or a Rafael Palmeiro, who has a lot of great numbers.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I just don't see it, man. I think that I don't see how Nelson Cruz is even close to some of those other names, that definitely will eclipse him in home runs for their career, so I think he deserves it. But no, I would say he misses out.
Mike Haber, in or out?
I'd put him in. Again, I'm going to go back to my point of you have to look at where they were at in their peak and were they using steroids? Were they caught for PEDs during their peak of performance? And Barry Bonds on steroids his entire career? I mean, is that?
I don't know.
Right? So how do we, and the fact that Cruz was caught and then, prove that he can continue to, produce. I think for me personally, I would put Cruz in. Do I think he makes it? Like I said, it's all subjective. It's up to the baseball writers at this point to decide, okay, can we look at these two players, Barry Bonds and Nelson Cruz, and have two different opinions based on the fact that they didn't use it during their peak.
Right. Jason, is he in or out?
Yeah. I tend to agree with Mike. I think I put him in, and will the writers put him in? That story is still to be told. And based on everything that we just discussed, like you said, the jury is still out on that. But I would put him in.
So it sounds like we like Nelson Cruz and we would put him in, but we don't think that he's going to make it because of the suspensions. All right, Jason, on to the next player.
Yeah, and this guy is our first reliever of the show. This guy is 33 years old. He's got 306 career saves, a lifetime 236 ERA, 1,002 strikeouts, a 7-time All-Star, 1 World Series ring, and 1 reliever of the year.
Mike Haber, we'll start with you.
You said 1 World Series ring?
Correct.
I did.
And what was the last thing you said, Jason?
1 reliever of the year.
1 reliever of the year. That probably can help me.
No lifelines.
I'm gonna. I think I know who it is, so I'm gonna ask a very specific question.
Okay.
Was he traded this year?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's not who I think it was. Okay.
All right. Ben Nissman.
Is he a Latin player?
Yes. Mike Haber, your guess.
Come on, Ben. I needed something more than that.
That
It was good.
something.
It was good.
Was
Good.
it?
Yes,
I thought
Mhm.
so. It narrows it down a little.
I think so. I think that was a very good question.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's still a closer.
I'm gonna assume he's not.
Oh shit! I was hoping to get a division or something. I
Said
screwed
you got a
up with my-
nationality. I'll give you that he is from the Caribbean somewhere.
Oh, come on.
Cool. Thank you so much.
What? It gets rid of Mexico, Venezuela.
All right. So let's go with and how old is Chapman? Chapman.
You nailed
Yeah,
it.
Chapman.
It's Aroldis Chapman.
Cuban.
All right. Hey, I'm 3 for my last 3. I gotta
He
tell you.
is. He is. Mike Haber is. Mike Haber's killing it here.
Cruising.
And what we have.
Nelson cruising.
Yeah, there you go. Aroldis Chapman. Now, this is a different kind of conversation. Relievers. Where do we stand with Aroldis Chapman? 33. He's not done yet. Got plenty of tread on those tires, as they say. Isn't a free agent, I don't think, until the end of 2023. No, end of 2022 is his walk. 2022 is his walk year.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's probably got what? Call it another 3-year deal left. 36,
After this.
36, 37 until he's like pretty much done. We're
But,
looking
like-
at 600 innings, a 2.36 lifetime ERA, 300 plus saves already. Where we at? Ben Nisman, I'll start with you.
You know, the benchmark for relievers getting into it, it's a pretty small group, right? It's like Goose Gossage and I guess
Suter.
Dennis Eckersley, yeah, Suter,
Trevor Hoffman.
Trevor
Mo.
Hoffman, and Mo.
Yeah.
Lee Smith
Smith.
didn't get in. Lee Smith didn't get in, and I would probably say that Lee Smith is better than Aroldis Chapman.
Wait, Lee Smith didn't get it. He didn't get in.
He's
Lee
in.
Smith is in.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah. Hall of Fame.
Yep.
What year? What year was he inducted?
2019.
By the Veterans Committee.
By the Veterans. Yeah,
Oh,
he didn't get voted
That's
in.
why I didn't. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't think of it. Like
But that
Alan,
that was my
Alan
argument for.
Trammell is in, you know.
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
regard.
that's how I feel like Yachty was going to get in, was from the veterans vote,
I could see
and
that.
and that counts. That counts. He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of
you
Fame.
know?
Like,
Yeah.
Eh, I feel like there should be like.
okay, but that's a
just
that's a fair
for
argument.
those
Is this
people.
person better than Lee Smith, who didn't get voted in, had to be elected by his peers? So that's a good. I think that's a pretty good measuring stick. Lee
What's
Smith,
Lee Smith's E ERA?
303.
Comp.
He saved 478 games. Do we think that Aroldis Chapman can get to 475?
What's he at now?
And
303, 30 something, 306.
And that was over. that was
Uh,
over 80. That was over 18 seasons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
don't
that's
think he's
6
getting
more
a
years for him.
475? No, especially not now where you have managers that don't necessarily go to the guy like 3 days in a row when they have save opportunities. They try to, use them as much as they need to kind of make sure that he has enough durability to go into August and September.
I'd like to hear from the Yankee fan and where he stands on Aroldis Chapman. I mean, you got this guy in 2016 in his age 28 season, 20 saves, in 2016. Looks like 22 in 2017, 32 in 2018, 37 in 2019, 3 last year for what that's worth, and 30 this past season. Where are you at on Aroldis Chapman as the closer of the New York Yankees, Mike Haber?
Look, no one was gonna fill Mariano Rivera's shoes. No one. And this is the next guy we got who consistently has been a closer for us since Rivera. Like we've it's been a revolving door between Rivera and Chapman. But
yeah, you dabbled with Dave Robertson for a little.
Yeah, no, he can take his socks to Chicago. But oh no, Tampa. He's on Tampa now.
He is now, but he was pretty good in Chicago, regardless.
Yeah. I'm gonna say absolutely not. And the reason why is because I think it takes something miraculous and special to be a closer and a reliever and make it into the Hall of Fame. And I don't think that this guy has proven that. And maybe I am looking at the biased Yankee fan intangibles of how horrible he's been in the playoffs for us. But
let's talk about his postseason numbers then, shall we?
Oh my God. I would say in general, he's been like average and just had a lot of loud home runs.
He's given up 3 postseason home runs in 41 and a third innings. 3 home runs in 41 and a third. And you can name all 3 of them.
The Coco Crisp one.
Yep.
In 2016 was so enormous.
Right.
Altuve
sent the Astros to the World Series over them in 2017.
2019.
Or 2019 rather. And then Mike Brasso. That's it. It was the only home runs he's ever given up.
They were big.
He has a 2.40 ERA and he has 10 saves.
2 out of 3 of those home runs ended that team's season, and the other one should have ended the Cubs season.
Yes.
He basically...
It should have been a curse. Like, it should have been the next curse that was on the Cubs. And it wasn't because he got bailed out by Ben Zobrist.
Right. He got bailed out by Yan Gomes because there was like another base hit that happened. And then it's 2-0 in Yan Gomes. And Yan Gomes didn't realize that the dude on the mound doesn't know how to play baseball right now and swung at 3 straight sliders in the dirt instead of just waiting for him to finally throw a strike. I mean, we've seen the point where Aroldis Chapman forgets how to play baseball on the mound. And once he loses that strikeout, he's done. And if the team recognizes it, they can't lose the game. So, I mean, I think of a guy like K-Rod. Francisco Rodriguez set a record for the most saves in a season. Am I not correct?
Yeah,
right.
62.
That record still stands. It's 62.
Yep.
62. If we look at K-Rod's career, we might see a pretty impressive career. Some disappointing years on the Mets, sure. But in general, like, I don't think he's that much worse than Aroldis Chapman. And I have another thing that I want to throw in there. And it's that what do you call the reason why
hang on, I want to pause you and tell you that K-Rod has a career 437 saves
in 16 seasons.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
And a comparable ERA. I think you're dead on. I think you're dead on the nose accurate with your K-Rod comp. So, is Aroldis Chapman in, and do you think he'll get in?
I just want to throw in another thing, and it's the thing that I don't think we've really talked about so much, and I'm sure we'll get into it more, is that character clause. That certain guys, they just aren't really liked by the committee. Mm-hmm. Somebody like a Curt Schilling. I'm sure we could throw in other names out there. Look, Ty Cobb is always going to be, like, you couldn't ignore it. He's that good. But a guy that was suspended for beating a woman, domestic violence, you check that box off. Put that guy in the Hall of Fame? I don't think so, man. 2 thumbs down. Chapman is out for me.
Okay. Jason Ashby.
Yeah, that's a solid point. I think the numbers, when it's all said and done, will merit it. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens after this really bad season he had this year. Will he maintain the closer role? Will he? Is he still a closer? I don't know, but I think I think the numbers will merit it, but I think Ben hit the nail on the head. I don't think a guy with that tied to him belongs with guys like Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Mo Rivera.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
right.
No, he's out for me.
He's out for you. Mike Haber, Yankee fan.
He's out for me.
I think I'm with you guys. Look. I think the numbers aren't going to make it. Aroldis Chapman, again, 306 career saves. If Frankie Rodriguez has 437 and a similar ERA and a similar strikeout rate, I'm not gonna put you in. And that's before we even get to the character clause, right? So if your numbers don't stack up, I don't think you're gonna make it in. Next, we're all out on Aroldis Chapman, and we fucking should be. Next name is, this is gonna be a fun conversation. This will be a real fun conversation.
Yeah.
900. He is currently 37 years old. 963 runs scored, 1,846 hits, 284 career home runs, 1,061 career RBIs, a 277 batting average with a 341 on base percentage, and 816 OPS. He appeared in 2 All-Star games, won 1 World Series, has 1 Gold Glove, 2 Silver Sluggers. Ben Nissman, I'll start with you.
He has 1 World Series. Was that World Series on a National League team?
Yes. Mike Haber, your question.
What division does he play for currently?
That'll be the National League East. Ben Nissman.
Huh. NL East. 1 World Series. I can't ask any more questions, right?
Nope.
Not a Marlin. Not a Brave. I want to say it's like a guy on the Nationals.
I feel like maybe Philly's been.
You think? This is really tough. 30. He's 37 now.
He is currently 37 years old. Turned 37 at the end of September, right at the end of the season.
Right at the end of the season. Okay, so he's young. Okay. I'm pretty stumped. How about you, Mike?
It's funny how this guy gets
Yeah, right?
forgotten.
I
right?
like this.
Yeah.
He's a really good player, though, huh?
I would say he's pretty good. I would say this is a pretty good conversation we're about to embark upon.
Well, he's obviously somewhat forgettable.
We should have asked about his fantasy team.
He could not
help.
have been owned that much. Yeah.
I'm pretty stumped also.
You guys give?
Is it a
What
Philly?
team is it? A Philly?
It is not a Philly.
It's
Okay.
a National.
Come on, who's the 37-year-old on the Nationals?
It is the National.
Is it
It's
Ryan?
Mr.
Oh,
National. It's Ryan
Ryan
Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
It's Ryan Zimmerman, guys.
It
Yeah.
is Mr. National.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about Yadier Molina being the Cardinal that goes in, like, does this guy make it? Again, 277, 341, and 816 OPS, 284 home runs, over 1,000 RBIs, 960 runs scored. But he had like 1 or 2 really good years, and then everything else is just kind of, I can't stay on the field because I'm always hurt.
Yeah. That's kind of how I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Met killer, right? But I mean, aside from
Sure.
that,
I mean, Pat Burrell was a Met killer, you know?
Yeah. Bobby
Right.
Abreu was a Met killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Haber, how you feeling about Ryan Zimmerman?
I'm gonna say not a shot in hell.
Are we
Yeah.
are we good on this guy? Is he out for all of us?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's in the Hall of Very Good. Like, I just,
He's not even in Don Mattingly territory. Like I think that's the poster child for the Hall of Very Good.
No. He's not even close. He's not Torrey Hunter,
Sure.
who I would say is like, yeah, on
Let's
the
take a look at
cusp,
who he
but-
stacks up against according to Baseball Reference.
Yeah.
Adam Jones, Vernon Wells, Bobby Bonilla.
What?
Yeah, some of these like Fred Lynn.
Yeah.
I thought
That-
Lynn
like-
is better.
All right, so
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, he's beloved by Nationals fans everywhere
Yeah.
because 16 seasons with the guy. But this is different than Yadier Molina. Like, this is different than Tony Gwynn, Ozzie Smith.
he's
Like,
just not good. He's just not good.
right.
He's David
No.
Wright, guys. He's David Wright.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Jason. Please.
15 seasons. He has one season of 162 games played. Like, yeah, he has some good numbers, but I don't. And he's a darling, but no, I don't think he gets in.
All right, we'll move on.
Yeah, let's move on. I mean,
All right.
it's a quick conversation.
Yeah.
I mean,
Zimmerman's out.
yeah.
Next guy, Jason, run it down.
All right, this guy is currently 40 years old. He has 184 career wins, a 3.35 ERA, 2,004 strikeouts, 3-time All-Star, one World Series ring, and 2 Gold Gloves and a Silver Slugger.
Mike Haber, let's start with you on this one.
That Silver Slugger always throws me off at the pitch.
Yeah, why even say that?
They just can win them.
It counts.
40 years old,
A ring.
a ring, 184 wins, and I'm curious if is he signed to play next year?
That's a good
Yes.
question. I have to look that one up. Give
He
me-
is.
He is? Okay. So yes, he is signed for next season. Ben Nissman, your question.
Division.
It's the NL Central. Mike.
Is it Wainwright?
It is
No.
Adam Wainwright.
Wait, he's got 2 rings.
He was
That was
not
bad information.
he wasn't on the 2011 team, Ben. He was recovering
Yes,
from
he
Tommy
was.
John.
That doesn't mean he's not on the team.
Ben,
he
I'll
still
show it to you
gets a
right
ring.
here. I'll show it to
Gets
you
a
right
ring.
here.
He still gets a
He
ring.
wasn't
He
on
was
the
signed
team.
on the
He had no
team.
stats that season.
But it doesn't
He
matter.
wasn't
He's
on
signed
the
on the
fucking
team. It counts.
roster.
I know he didn't play a game that year in 2011, but it throws you off because he was signed on the team.
Okay, but he wasn't on the roster. He doesn't get a
Right.
ring for that.
He-
He didn't participate in the World Series.
think
Baseball Reference
he won it
shows
without
one World
him.
Series. One World Series,
He has
2006.
one World Series on his baseball reference page. It was one World Series. He is not credited with anything that he didn't play a single out for.
I knew that the whole time. Whole time.
You should, since you owned him.
Even
Yeah.
if let's for the sake of argument say he got 2 rings, then does that change anything?
Yeah, he's not in for me.
Okay, and why not?
There was only like a couple of years, I feel like, where he really stood out as one of the best pitchers in the game. I don't really actually jump on like the whole Cy Young thing, like how many Cy Youngs or how many MVPs, because I think a guy could be in the running in those categories in those awards every single year and not win them, but still be an amazing player. That's a choice that's made by MLB. He has no control over that. But I never thought of him to be really a spectacular pitcher over a long period of time. I consider him a very good pitcher.
Okay, Jason, where do you stand on Adam Wainwright?
Yeah, I tell you what, this conversation got a lot more difficult for me after this season because, yeah, before 2021, I would have said no way. But to come back out as a 39-year-old and pitch the way he pitched this year, like, that says something. And now he's going to have a 17th season pitching for the Cardinals. I think he makes it in. I really do. I think he is Yadier Molina's yin and yang, right? And I think they go together. And I think if Molina can get in, I think he gets in. I know it's 2 different positions, 2 different worlds,
Yeah.
but but looking at him as a character, everybody, he's not that. There's no scandal tied to him. He's been dominant in the postseason.
Let's take a look at those postseason numbers now that somebody brought them up. I'm glad to hear that. 2.83 ERA, a losing record, 4 wins, 5 losses, 123 strikeouts, 114 and a third innings pitched. Mike Haber.
4 saves. And 4 saves.
Oh, and 4 saves. Of course, we know. we know one of them.
Yeah. Can I ask another question about the saves thing? Because I was curious about that actually. Like in the beginning when he was a closer, what was his save totals season to season?
3. He had 2006. He had 3 saves. That's it.
That was it.
And then he went right to being a starter.
Yeah.
The following season after those 3 saves, he threw 202 innings, 14 and 12 with a 3.7 ERA.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not Hall of Fame.
We talk about him having a career year this year for Mike Haber's team in the bigs. And you know what? 206 innings, 17 and 7, a 3.05 ERA. Like, I think people were talking about this being a career year for him, forgetting for a goddamn minute that he won 20 games in 2014 with a 2.38 ERA over 227 innings. Like, that's really good. And he didn't win the Cy Young that year. As a matter of fact, he finished 3rd. Like, this dude was a bona fide ace for a championship level team.
Yeah.
Right? And they won it without him, for what that's worth. Here's the thing. He's going to be there next year. If he could somehow pull off 16 wins next season and get to 200, I think he's in. Mike Haber, where are you at on Wainwright?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence here. I tend to sort of side with Ben on this one. I think that he's a great pitcher, but I don't think he's a Hall of Fame caliber pitcher, just based on his numbers and where his counting stats sort of measure up. But I think I do agree with you, Joe. If he can replicate what he did this year for another year, or even a year and a half or something, I think it helps his case. For me personally, right now at this moment, I'm out on him. But
okay, all right.
What was his career ERA, Joe?
3.35. That's where we're at. So, for me, I would put him in. I think he's on the fence of getting in. I think he needs one more really good year, and he can kind of solidify it if he does it next year. But if he goes out next year and goes to the 5.11 ERA he threw in 2017, I think he's out. Ben, would you put him in, and is he in?
I'm honestly surprised his ERA is that good. Like, I did not realize that he's had as many good seasons as he has to actually go sub 3.5. What's his whip career?
1.21.
I could understand him getting in. And someone like Andy Pettitte was what, like almost a 4 ERA?
3.85. I actually had him pulled up and didn't drop him in there. But that's a great comparison. I think this is a great. So Andy Pettitte ended with 256 wins, a 3.85 ERA across 3,300 innings. Adam Wainwright is not going to hit any of those numbers.
No. Also, I mean, but very different teams. I mean, some of those Yankee teams were so dominant.
Right.
We know that crazy 1998 team. Even the 2019 won a bunch of games.
All right. Would you put him in? Yes or no?
I'll say no. I never felt like I was watching a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Okay. Jason Ashby.
I would put him in.
Do you think he gets in?
I want to say yes. I want to say he finds a way. Again, even if it's the Veterans Committee, I think he finds a way in, especially like you said, especially if he can replicate one more season of what he did this year.
All right. Mike Haber?
I'm going to say no.
We're split on this guy. I love that. I love when that happens. All right.
Yes.
So you think he's in, Joe?
I would put him in, and I think he's going to find a way in. Yeah. See, I look at him, and I don't see the win totals, obviously, and certainly not the saves totals, but I liken it to John Smoltz. Like, I never felt like I was watching, complete dominance from John Smoltz, but
Really?
he just kept killing us.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't think that he was down? What about when he was closing? Do you remember how insane of a closer?
Yeah, he
Smoltz
was fucking tremendous. And like, again, it's not a really good comparison here. Like, that's just the name that I came up with. Jason,
Okay.
let's go to the next guy. This is
Let's do
this is an interesting one because it's the first of his kind, but there are a couple of more, and you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this one goes.
Yeah.
All right. He is currently 35 years old. He has 1,052 runs, 1,826 hits, 270 home runs, 933 RBIs, 280 average, a 373 on base, an 849 OPS, 1 MVP, 5-time All-Star, a Gold Glove, and 4-time Silver Slugger.
Ben Nissman, we'll start with you.
Is he a Latin player?
No, Mike Haber, your question.
All right. 35 years old.
And he won an MVP.
Yeah, won an MVP. Can I ask what division he played for when he won his MVP?
That would be the NL Central. Ben.
NL Central.
Yeah. And now, you guys got to guess.
He won it when he was in the NL Central.
Correct.
Like going through the years. 35 years old. God. I'm stumped at them. I need more than like 30 seconds to think about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. If I had more time.
35. NL Central.
2017.
I'm torn actually between a couple guys. I don't know how old they are.
Right.
Like how old is Votto?
He's like 38, isn't he? Or 37?
Yeah, he's 38.
He's older, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is No, I don't even think Ryan Braun would be on this list.
No, he's older. He's 38.
And he's also not.
And he
active.
didn't play in 2021. He also retired during the 2021 season.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is McCutchen, Ben?
That's the answer.
Is
Andrew
that it?
McCutchen.
Yep.
Andrew
job.
McCutchen is in fact
Yep.
the name. Yeah, so 35. He's put together a pretty nice career. Just doesn't have the power numbers that I think a lot of people would expect. And his MVP season, he only had 25 home runs, but he's been good for 25 basically every single year from 2011, except for one season when obviously he didn't hit 20 in 2020, but like he played for the Yankees for a season or half a season before going to the Giants. Wasn't very good for the Yankees, and recent years haven't been too great. 280 lifetime hitter is tremendous, but he's kind of living off of 3 seasons early in the 2010s. Mike Haber, let's start with you. Where do you stand on Andrew McCutchen?
Oh, man, I think he falls a little short for me, to be honest. I don't think he's got. I mean, like you said, he had a really strong early part of his career, and he's tapered off. What would we say? Like 7 good years, 6, 7 good years?
Let's see, 2012.
Great years, I mean.
2012, he hit 327 with 31 and 96 and 107 runs scored. I would say that's very good.
Yeah.
2013, he hit 317, 21 homers, 84 RBIs, a 404 on base percentage, 97 runs scored. I'd say that's pretty good. 2014.
That's the MVP year, right?
2013, yeah. 2013 was the MVP year with only 21 homers and 84 RBIs, but 27 steals. He's also got 197 steals, so he's almost.
I was going to call that out. Yeah.
Mm,
You know, and I think that's something that has to be recognized too.
Absolutely.
I think he's
And-
a little short with the RBIs though, like the actual production and
Because
power.
he's been a leadoff hitter a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
and on shitty Pirates teams.
Right. Like, he was there like at the tail end of the Jason Bay era, and then it was his team for a while with like Garrett Jones and
Neil Walker.
Neil Walker. Like,
Right.
come on. This is not a real team. Like
No.
Pedro Alvarez,
Right.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Freddie Sanchez is a batting champion. Like, these are his teammates.
Yeah.
These are nobodies.
So good.
I'm gonna say he falls a little short for me.
Okay, Jason, in or out? Or
Yeah, this is a good one. And you know, look, this year, you know, his batting average was terrible at 222, but he
Right.
still managed 27 home runs and 80 RBIs. Like, he still had a pretty good year coming back from
444
you know,
on base percentage is fucking nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you
I'm
know,
sorry. 334 on base percentage. His slugging was
Wait.
44.
Okay,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a big difference
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My fault.
That is,
But
Looked at the
oh
wrong
gosh.
That's why I was like,
That's
that's
insane.
insanity. Like,
Yeah, I was like, did he lead baseball for the last decade and a half in on base percentage?
you know, looking at who he's being compared to, you know,
That's a good
I see
question.
Vernon Wells, I see Hunter Pence, I see Bobby Bonilla. Yeah, I think I would probably put him in, but I think he's going to fall short.
Ben Nissman.
I would like you to pull up a certain player's stats for me, as I do not think these guys are similar players, but I'm just curious about this guy's batting average, his steals, a guy that I know got in
Okay.
his final year. Tim Raines, please.
Tim Raines, lifetime batting average 294, 385 on base percentage. He had 170 home runs, 808 steals, 1,571 runs scored. If you were to tell me that you think Andrew McCutchen is a poor man's Tim Raines, I will give you that and agree with you. I think McCutchen has a bit more power, so he's somewhere between Ricky Henderson and Tim Raines in that vein. But he's a poor man's version of either of those guys by a
Yeah.
far margin.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's poor, he's beyond poor. I mean, it's not even close. The fact that the batting average is
Yeah.
still about 14 points difference.
Mhm.
And Tim Raines played, how many seasons did Tim Raines play?
23
Like
seasons for Tim Raines.
23 seasons. And that's a lot of time for that batting average to dip
Yeah.
as he gets older. And it didn't seem to. That means, and it took this guy in his final year to get in. I don't think McCutchen's close.
I think I'm with you guys. We'll go ahead and stop the screen share and stop the timer because I think we're all in agreement here that McCutchen, he's a good player. He had some really great years, but he's going to fall just short. He's nowhere near 3,000 hits. He's not even at 2,000 hits yet. You know, so yeah, I think we're all in agreement. He's out, but he was fun
Yeah.
to watch while he was around.
Yeah.
All right. The next guy on the list here, another reliever. 350 career saves, a 2.37 ERA, 1,022 strikeouts. He's a 3-time All-Star. He's got 1 ring, and he's a 2-time reliever of the year. Ben Nissman, we'll start with you.
How many teams did he play for?
1. Mike Haber.
He's played for one team.
That was a good question, Mike.
It's a very
That was
good
an awesome.
question.
That was an awesome question. That was an awesome.
It wasn't nationality.
Is he a Latin? No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, get division. If we can get division, I think we got this,
All
man.
right, division.
It's the NL West. Ben Nissman, your guess.
How old did you say he was?
He is 30. He's currently 34 years old.
Oh,
Is it Kenley Jansen?
It is Kenley
Yeah.
Jansen. It is, in fact, Kenley Jansen. Now, this is an interesting one here because I think Kenley Jansen is pretty friggin' good. And 350 saves already in his career. 12 years in. he's not going anywhere, right? We don't, and even if he does, like, he's gonna go the closer. He's gonna be the closer wherever he goes from here forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
His contract. He's in fact a free agent this year. So does he stay in LA is a good question. And that's the question of like how many more can he get? And is he in? Ben Nissman, we'll start with you.
Well, he's 34 now. You got to believe he's got 4 more seasons in him. Is that fair?
I think that's very fair. I think
If
that's
it's
very
four-
fair.
Yeah, I think if it's 4 seasons with similar numbers as he's put up, I think I would have to put him in.
I think he's going to sign a 5-year deal. I don't think that's. I think some team will do that for him,
Sure.
and at least 4 of them are good. I would say bank on 3 good years, right? But Jason,
Yeah. And again, I'll call up his postseason numbers: 3 and 2 in 61 and a third innings, 2.20 ERA, 90 strikeouts and 19 saves.
19 saves.
That's pretty good that's a good, a good lengthy postseason record to look at too. I
mean, they're there practically every year. He's the guy shutting the door.
Right.
Like,
I think he's in. I think
Mike
he's
Haber.
absolutely in.
let's hear from Mike Haber. Where are you at with Kenley Janssen?
I'm actually feeling pretty good about him, and the reason why is I know putting him and Trevor Hoffman in the same sentence is probably not fair, but if you
I had
look
Lee
at
Smith here, but if you want to go Trevor Hoffman, we can.
You can't compare the save totals because Trevor Hoffman's in another league, but everything else, I think by the end of Kenley Janssen's career, his numbers are going to be comparable, if not better, than Trevor Hoffman's career numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Hoffman only had 1,133 strikeouts. Kenley Jansen has 1,022 already.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And what was Hoffman's career ERA?
287.
And
It's a
Jansen is currently-
full half run worse than Jansen's 237. Now, granted, Trevor Hoffman wasn't the best on the back end of his career when it comes to that category, right? A 377 is a 40-year-old, a 589 is a 42-year-old. But I mean, 287 is great.
Yeah.
Across almost 1,100 innings. Kenley Jansen has 700 innings, and he's at a 237. Could I see him finishing with somewhere around a Trevor Hoffman ERA? Yeah, I could. It's a good trajectory. I will certainly say that. Right now, would any of you guys put him in, or is he out? Ben Nissman, in or out?
If he retired today, I would say no. But if you're going to tell me by the end of his career, 4 more years of similar numbers, then yes, he's in for me.
All right. Jason Ashby?
Yeah, I'm on that same wavelength. I think he will get in. I think he'll pitch the necessary years, and I think he gets in. I think another interesting person to kind of relate him to would be Billy Wagner. Does Billy Wagner get in?
He didn't get in.
But
He didn't get in, but I almost feel like he could have.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I think Kenley, I think Jansen's postseason track record helps him get in there. So, I think he's gonna get in.
Okay.
And I would put him in too.
Good.
Yeah.
Mike Haber.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put him in, and this also solidifies my belief, the conversation we had earlier. It validates my opinion on Chapman, because when you put Chapman and Jansen in and compare them, I don't even think there is a comparison, and it just makes me feel better about Jansen and worse about Chapman, and I don't even know if it's something tangible. I just think like Jansen has been a measure of consistency his whole career. He's pitched for the same team. He has a clean record. He hasn't beaten women. I mean,
Yep. I'm with you guys 1,000% on this. This is a clean
I think
dude.
when you're talking about closers and Hall of Fame, like the first thing you got to think, like, lockdown closer or not? Like, was he a lockdown closer? You can question that with Chapman. I don't necessarily say that's a lockdown closer. Sure, for certain stints during the season, he might be the best closer in baseball.
Mhm.
But consistently locked down, you can't think of anyone that's like Kenley Jansen.
No.
All right, so Kenley Jansen in for all four of us. Next player on the list here is a 36-year-old pitcher, 155 career wins, a 3.33 ERA, 2,039 strikeouts. He has a Cy Young. He has 5 All-Star appearances, 1 World Series championship, and 2 ERA titles. Ben Nissman, we'll start with you.
Why am I first?
Mike Haber, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Ben. So 36 years old,
Pitcher.
pitcher, 1 World Series, 2 ERA titles.
Yeah. And an under 3.5 ERA for his career. What'd you say? 3.36?
333.
Jeez, it's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. All right, give us the division.
Currently,
Current division.
NL West. Ben Nissman.
What division did he make his mark, like when he was at his best?
Are you asking where he won his Cy Young? Would that be a fair
Yeah.
spot to do it?
Fine.
One would say that would be his best season. That was done in the AL East.
Oof.
So currently in where?
NL West.
Currently in NL West.
Made his mark in the AL East.
And I think that question is answered both ways. Like, he definitely made his mark in the AL East.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I know who it is.
Wait, don't tell me yet. Okay, tell me.
It's David Price.
It is David
It
Price.
is.
3
Good job.
AL East teams he played for before going to the Dodgers in 2021. Well, technically 2020, but he opted out. Dude, this guy's been really good too.
Yeah.
150 wins isn't the best that you want to see, like, for a guy who's already 35. Like, I would much rather that number be like 30 more, honestly, because you want to at least see 200 wins from a guy at this point, right? We're not going to see 300 game winners anymore. It's just not going to be a thing. But
No.
200 is a good number to get to. The strikeout total is about 1 an inning. The Cy Young season was 2012.
I thought there was 2 Cy Youngs.
Only one.
Really?
He finished second in 2010, but
Okay.
and
It was 2012 was his
14?
Cy Young
15.
season.
For the Rays.
Yeah, 2012 was the Cy Young season. 20 wins, 5 losses, a 2.56 ERA, 211 innings, 205 strikeouts. It's nasty. It's nasty. And he was filthy for the Rays. And then he went to the Tigers and was really good. Went to the Blue Jays and was really good. Went to the Red Sox and was, like, pretty good. Like, I think he's always been in that spot where, fantasy-wise, like, he wasn't the top tier guy any season, but he was that next tier guys every year of his prime, right?
Yeah. Oh, of his prime? Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, his prime went from when he was 24 to 30. That's 6 great years.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like remembering him missing a good amount of time, though?
So 107 innings in 2019,
Yeah.
75 innings in 2017,
Mm.
but 208
Really?
in
That's-
2010, 224 in 2011, 211 in
Yeah.
2012, 186 in 2013, 248 innings in 2014 between Tampa and Detroit, 220 in 2015, 230 in 2016. He was pretty durable for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just recently.
Could you imagine if the Tigers were able to hang on to Price and Verlander, like,
And Scherzer.
and
Right.
Scherzer, like,
And Porcello,
Lord.
maybe when he was hot.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a dynasty there,
Yeah. That's a
Um,
disgusting rotation.
right? Yeah, but like,
Postseason numbers. Let's take a look at his postseason.
yeah, right. Because
I
feel like
he's got
they're-
a record.
I'm
They're
gonna
not
say
good.
they're okay.
They're not
right.
good.
I kind of remember a bad one in Detroit against the Orioles.
The
I
only
wanna say
start he
maybe a
had in the
couple-
postseason in Detroit,
2014.
yeah,
It wasn't so
but he
bad.
only had it was
was-
against Baltimore. It was 8 innings, 2 earned.
Oh wow, so that one was good.
Yeah.
They still lost.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They lost that game anyway.
I mean,
Yeah.
so overall he's 5-9 with a 4.62 ERA over 99 innings. So he's not good in the
I-
postseason.
No, I won't hold that against him that much. Greg Maddux had a really bad postseason numbers, actually. I'm not gonna dare compare David Price with Greg Maddux. and just-
No, that's not who we're going for. The ERA is pretty good though, 3.33.
Yeah,
Like, this
that's
isn't
impressive.
this isn't an inverted Andy Pettit where like
No,
he's better than that.
no, he is. Especially the fact that we're talking about a guy that pitched in the AL East
Mhm.
and in the American League for a good portion of his career in Toronto.
His entire
Detroit,
career, except for 2021, has been in the American League. This was his
It's very
first year outside of the American League.
Yeah.
Yeah, specifically the AL East.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't want to put him in because I feel like his numbers merit something close.
Right.
Maybe it's just because we haven't been seeing him for a while. Like we haven't seen him doing what we
Well,
saw
because
him
he-
doing.
Here's what's
for
crazy.
his
What if he comes
career.
out? What if he comes out in 2022 as at a 36-year-old season, throws 200 innings, wins 16 games, has an ERA around 3.33? Would you be surprised?
Yes, I guess so. I would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Because look, he was not good in 2019.
No.
He opted out 2020, and he was not good this year.
he was utilized differently this year, though.
Right.
He was a
Well, yeah.
reliever for a lot of it. So like,
Yeah. Like, so and I think that kind of derails him a little bit is that usage. Like, fresh in our minds is him throwing 2 innings, as an opener,
mhm.
before, Joe Kelly, whatever.
He's got a
So
winning record everywhere he's ever been, 82-47 with the Rays. I think he would wear a Rays hat if he were to go in.
Yeah.
You would. Yeah.
What's the verdict here? Jason Ashby, you're first.
Yeah, I'm inclined to put him in. I'm inclined to put him in, especially, yeah, like you said, especially if he comes through with one more year of that. But he's a first round pick. I say he's in.
And Nissman,
What's his win-loss record again? One more time, please.
155 wins, 82 losses.
Yeah, I think he's in too. I can't believe I'm saying it.
Mike
It's such a
Haber,
forgettable.
as somebody who faced this guy literally everywhere he went, and a Yankee fan, is David Price a Hall of Famer?
I'm gonna say no. I'm actually gonna be the outlier here. I'm gonna say no. I think his numbers fall short. I think that we have to remind ourselves it's the Hall of Fame and not the Hall of Great Pitcher. He was great, but I don't think that, like, for me, Hall of Fame is about legacy, and it's about what you leave behind when you're gone. And is he comparable to some of the other names in this list? And I don't think so.
Well, Mike, you said Greinke is in, right?
Yeah, I was sort of peer pressure, but yes, I did. I did. Say he was in.
Right, but when I think about
Spoken like a
those
true
two
teacher.
guys, what is Greinke? Where is Greinke standing so much stronger than, like, is it like that Greinke is just in and David Price is just short? Like, who is someone that's in for you? Like, is Musina for you a guy that should have gotten in?
Yeah,
Okay.
Spoken like a true Yankee fan.
I feel good about Messina. Yeah,
Okay.
He has
but why?
120 more wins than David Price. Messina had 270 wins.
Like, but what was
Again,
his
that's
ERA?
Yankees.
368.
That's the Yankees. That's Yankee effect.
Messina played his entire career in the AL East too. It's a pretty good comp.
I don't know.
I think
think Price
Messina
might
did
be
it.
better.
I think he did it for longer, and he sustained the success for longer than David Price. And I think
And
Price
that's the era.
and
you
I
know,
think
like-
Price had more lopsided great seasons, but Musina had more consistently good seasons.
19-6 in 2010, 12-13 in 2011, 20-5 in 2012, 10-8 in 2013, 15-12 in 2014, 18-5 in 2015, 17-9 in 2016. 2017 he only threw 75 innings, 16-7 in 2018. That was his last good year. I am on so Mike Haber says he's out. Jason and Ben both say he's in. If he can somehow in the next like 2 or 3 years put together one more good year where he has about 15 wins, then I think he can get in. But right now, if he were to retire tomorrow, he's not in. I'm out on him. Next player, Jason Ashby.
All right. This guy is 36 years old. He's got 961 runs, 1,818 hits, 317 home runs, 1,089 RBIs, a 256 average, 335 on base, and 808 OPS. He's a former Rookie of the Year, 3-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove, and he owns a Silver Slugger.
Did you say he has a 260 average?
266.
266.
And how many home runs?
317.
How's this guy a Hall of Fame? Like, how is he even in the conversation?
Who's going first here?
Mike Haber, let's start with you.
Trying to think of a creative question. Something other than division.
Right.
Or nationality.
Or nationality. Infield or outfield?
Infielder. Ben Nissman.
Said he was Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say if he had any rings?
0 rings.
No any like postseason accolades or anything like that?
Nope.
And you guys didn't mention stolen bases, right?
I can if you want me to. 58 career steals.
How many postseasons did he appear in?
Good question. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Mike Haber, your guess.
Oof. So 58 steals leads me to believe that he's probably a corner infielder, whether it's probably first baseman, Ben, right?
Sounds right to me, yeah.
256 average.
266.
66.
266 average.
How old did you say he was?
He's currently 36.
He just turned 36, like 3 weeks ago.
Just turned 36. He was a Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Who was Rookie of the Year 15 years ago?
What year would that be?
I don't know, 2006?
2006 Rookie of the Year. And now
I'm guessing 15.
I thought it was Wainwright. And the AL 2006. Oh shoot! I think I know who it is.
Go ahead, Ben. Tell us who it is.
This guy didn't win Rookie of the Year. Never mind.
No.
I was gonna say Robinson Cano, but
I thought you knew it, Ben. Let's think of corner.
I'll give you guys 30 seconds here.
Okay.
Jeez, man.
Corner infielders. He's 36.
Is it fair that he's a corner infielder, Joe?
Yes.
He's been around for some time.
Give me the year he won the Rookie of the Year.
Oh no, I know it.
You got it?
I think. Is it Evan Longoria?
It's Evan Longoria.
Nice, dude.
Nice catch. So, Ben asked the question, and I guess we have to answer it.
2008.
Why? Oh, yes. 2008 was the year he won the Rookie of the Year. That wasn't even the question because you asked this question before we even started about like awards or anything. You heard those stats and went, "Why is this guy even in the conversation?" So, is that the census here,
Yeah.
Jason?
I don't know why he's even considered. He's a little better than Ryan Zimmerman or a little worse. I don't know.
Okay, so like Avery,
Yeah,
same way?
I mean, look, he's had some really good power numbers. The 317 home runs. But
He
yeah,
had a couple of really nice seasons. 36 homers, 98 RBIs in 2016.
Yeah, 33 with 113 in 2009.
Yeah.
31 with 99 in 2011. So he's had some good years. His batting average is 266 is a little low. Yeah, he gets left off, but I thought he would be a good talking point.
This is another great Rays player. Like they seem to churn out a lot of these like good enough, like really good but not quite good enough type guys.
Yeah.
David Price
I feel like
one.
Yeah, I feel like he was a guy that didn't become what pundits expected him to become for his career, and he was basically
Mike
like
Schmidt.
the next. Yeah,
Well,
they did.
Yeah, he has
You're
a
right.
first round draft pick. So he had kind of that pedigree with him.
And he started off great, and the fact that the team went to the World Series, brought his team to the playoffs a few times, like you said. What was his numbers last year? I feel like it was more of a comeback season this year.
261 average, 351 on base percentage, 13 homers, 46 RBIs, 45 runs scored in 81 games.
He missed some time.
Yeah.
Does he go in the first 15 rounds in the bigs next year?
I don't if he's drafted at all next year.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're out on Evan Longoria.
Nice and quick.
Nice and quick. Let's see.
This should be a good one.
This is a good one. I like this one. 37 years old this year. I almost said his name because I was very, very stupid for a moment. 200 career wins, a 3.66 ERA, 2,488 strikeouts. He's got 5 All-Stars, 3 rings, and an NLCS MVP. Ben Nissman will
ALCS MVP?
NLCS, National League Championship Series MVP.
You said 3 World Series?
3 rings.
Clearly it's not Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer is not on the list. He's another one of those like Kershaw, Verlander,
he's in
Cabrera guys.
So then Pujols is not on the list?
He's not on the
Correct.
list. You're not going to have anybody with 600 and change home runs. Like, come on now.
Right. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. 3 rings. Wow.
3 rings.
He's 37 now. When did he turn 37?
January of last year, or January of 2021. So he'll be 38 going into next season.
Okay. Damn, he's like the same exact age as Scherzer. In what division? Oh no! See, he won the World Series. Did he win the World Series for the same team all 3 years?
No, Mike Haber. Your question.
Fuck, Ben.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, I do too.
It is not. Help me out with that Cy Young, Mike. He did win a Cy Young, right?
No Cy Youngs.
Oh, Mike, help me out with that NLCS MVP.
NLCS MVP.
Yeah. Help me out with that.
I'm leaning towards one person right now, but I want to ask a good question just in case it's not him. Is he a lefty?
Yes. Ben Nissman, your guess.
Mike, do you got it?
I think so.
Three World Series rings and an NLCS MVP. I do not think it's Jeff Suppan.
I didn't know he was still pitching.
He did win an NLCS MVP.
Mhm.
Man, I'm stumped without knowing more about this. The NLCS MVP thing. What we get? Mike, go ahead. Take that
Is it
shot.
John Lester?
It is John Lester.
It is John Lester.
Dude. All right,
Yes,
he won
John Lester. Won the NLCS MVP in 2016 for the Chicago Cubs. His other 2 World Series came in Boston, obviously.
Right.
200 career wins is a great win total. 2,500 strikeouts is a good number.
It is.
I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Let's start with Mike Haber on this one as the Yankee fan who had to face this guy a lot. John Lester.
I mean, 200 wins is impressive. He's got the rings. He's won an NLCS MVP. The 3.66 ERA you don't love, but it's up there with some of the other Hall players. And I mean, look at what this guy has overcome in his life too. Not that really matters, but if we are talking character references here, like, you know.
What do you have, lymphoma?
Yeah, I think so. I'm leaning towards pushing
Leukemia?
this guy in.
Lymphoma? Yeah, see, the thing is the fact that he helped that Cubs team overcome the greatest curse in sports, arguably. And you're not going to look at too many of those players on that team as potential. I mean, maybe Chris Bryant becomes a Hall of Fame argument, like maybe Rizzo by the end. But in general, you look at that team, there's not really too many guys that you're going to, I mean, this guy is probably the closest to it. And I think winning a World Series with the Chicago Cubs makes more noise than a ring with a Boston, you know,
Well,
even though.
So let me ask you this then. So are you saying he's in?
I'm still unsure. We got to talk about it more.
Because then is he in as a Red Sox or is he in as a Cub?
He's in as a Red Sox.
Okay, because you're touting him as the the savior of the Cubs. To me, that sounds like he'd be in as a Cub hat.
Right. No, I wouldn't though. I mean, there was a few guys on that team, obviously, that were. I mean, Addison Russell and Dexter Fowler and Jake Arrieta and Hendricks and Chapman to an extent. There's David Ross.
Ben
Zobrist. I mean, there was a ton of good players on that team. It's just he's obviously one of the best players over a career on that team, but he definitely had an awesome year in 2007, right? The year they won it in the Red Sox. Was that a good year?
His 2007 numbers are he only appeared in 63 innings.
Oh, that's not the one then. Maybe it was 2008 where he was really good.
2008 he was fantastic. He was 16-6 with a 321, 210 innings. 19-9 in 2010, 19-5 for the Cubs in 2016. He was tremendous that year.
I think you'd have to lower the ERA to get in. I think the ERA is a little too high for me.
It's right in line with Mike Messina's, though. It's a 3.68 for Mike Messina.
I don't think Mike Messina's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, he is. Like, that is reality.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I get that. Like, I didn't necessarily think Larry Walker should have been just so easily in. There's a lot of guys. Like I said, Ryan Sandberg or an Ozzie. Ozzie, I'd have to look at Ozzie's numbers more to really, like, be sure. But there's plenty of guys that get in there that I'm just like, okay. They're in. Craig Biggio. Craig Biggio I can understand, actually, more so than some of those other guys. But I don't know, man. I think he would have to lower the ERA, at least sub 3.5.
Okay, so if he goes out next year as a 38-year-old, what does he have to do in order to solidify this thing?
An under 3 ERA for that final year.
Okay. So, Ben, you're saying right now, if this is his last season, he's out?
For me, he is, yeah.
Okay. Jason, where do you stand on John Lester?
I'm leaning to putting him in. Like I said, 200 wins, a 3.66 ERA. Look, yeah, is it great? No, but I think it's good enough. 2,500 strikeouts. If he comes back next year and does something, and maybe gets 2,600 strikeouts, he's at 2,740 innings pitched. His postseason record also has been phenomenal. He's got a 251 ERA over 154 innings in the postseason. With 133 strikeouts. Yeah, I have him in.
You have him in right now. Mike
Yeah.
Haber?
Yeah, he's in.
I think he's in as well. I really do. I think he's given us enough memories with a lot of his starts and that's one thing for me, especially. You look at Adam Wainwright. We talked about him. You got an intrinsic moment in your head of him catching Beltran. Okay. Yeah, John Lester has those too, and that just made me sad. But I think three of us are on Lester being in. Ben appears to be on the fence on that guy. All right, next guy, I believe Jason is yours. Go ahead with our next one.
All right, he's 33 years old. 34 years old. He's got 1,056 runs scored, 1,748 hits, 324 home runs, and even 1,000 RBIs. Lifetime 262 average, 343 on base, 814 OPS, 4-time All-Star, and a 3-time Silver Slugger.
Never won a ring or anything like that.
No.
No MVPs.
Nope.
It's good numbers.
Sounds pretty good.
Yep. Yeah.
Ben, we'll start with you.
Okay. What division is he currently in?
The American League West.
Can you give me some of those power numbers again? Home runs, RBIs.
324 home runs, 1,000 RBIs, 814 OPS.
262 average, right?
262 average, 343 on base.
And how old?
He is 34.
Or
But he had never won a World Series.
AL West. Never
It's
won
not
a World
done.
Series.
Right.
AL West. Never won a
AL
World
West currently.
currently.
Texas.
Um,
No one on
All right.
Texas.
I
What's
just want to ask this question. You guys just said that these are pretty good numbers, and you shit all over Evan Longoria. You guys just took an absolute fucking shit pile on Evan Longoria. And you're like, why are we even talking about this guy? Evan Longoria, 317 homers. This mystery
Well, I
man,
thought-
324.
yeah, but how many-
he
how
hit
many
7
RBI
more home runs.
Wait,
than
but
his
how many
power number.
RBIs? Yeah, go ahead. How many RBIs did Evan Longoria have?
1,089
Oh,
RBIs.
all right, touche. All right, no, this guy's pretty also. Touche.
was he on a team that made the playoffs this year?
No.
Okay, so it's not Houston. So we know it's not. We know it's not Texas, Mike.
Why?
Because
Oh.
how many guys do you know on Texas? That
I don't know
are
anyone on
like,
Texas.
right. Is it Justin Upton?
It is Justin
It is.
Upton, Ben. Very good. Now, like I just said, you guys took a shit all over Evan Longoria, but Justin Upton, you're like, wow, this is a pretty good power hitter. Like, these are pretty good numbers. Are they?
I guess not.
And, Upton's been doing it for a longer period of time, too.
Sure.
Yeah, he started as a 19-year-old. And
Wow.
yeah, I had him his breakout year in 2011. He had 31 homers, 88 RBIs, 289 average. And like, if you were going to tell me that at 23 years old he'd be doing that for his entire career, I would have put him in no question. The problem is, like, this man cannot stay healthy.
Yeah, he was hurt a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like, especially in the last 5 years. 27 games in 2017, 63 in 2019, 42 in 2020. That's out of 60. That's, 2/3 of the games. And then 89 this year.
To be fair, in 2017, he played 152. 27 of those were with the Angels.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He got
it's
traded
really, so
mid-season.
Yeah, so it was really like starting in 2018 was really kind of the downward trend.
The downhill. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
craziest number that you threw at me was his age. Like I thought he was older than that at this point.
No,
Like,
because he started as a
yeah,
teenager.
he started as a baby. I knew that he was younger than us, but like I didn't realize that he would like. I thought he might be like 35 or 36. The fact, and when did he turn 34? Do you have his birthday?
He turned 34 in August.
Wow, so he doesn't turn 35 till August. Wow.
Yeah.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, what else is there to say? I don't think he's in.
No, he's not in. He has 150 steals, which is the only thing that like he's better than Longoria is.
But let me ask you this though. Like, okay, so right now, but like, because he's 33, 34, whatever. Like he can, if he puts together another 4 or 5 years of
30 home runs and 80 RBIs.
Yeah.
Which is what he did in 2018, which is his most recent decent season. 30 home runs, 85 RBIs, 80 runs scored, a 257 average.
The 257 average, no. Like you got to go better.
He's a lifetime 262.
I understand that. To me, is not a Hall of Famer. Like with
Right.
those power numbers or those steal numbers. Like what's his walks to strikeout ratio? Like how many?
779 career walks to 1,948 strikeouts.
Isn't he typically a guy that strikes out a lot when he plays a full season?
Yes, 180 strikeouts in 2017 over 152 games.
And where is this guy going to get playing time if he stays in Los Angeles
It's another great question, but he's a free agent after next year.
after next year?
Yeah.
But where's he going to get playing time? Is he a
The
starting out?
NLDH opens up a lot of options,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
right?
He has really no postseason to speak of, really.
No.
Because he's
Also,
played
I'm
for.
really glad Ben got the right answer because I was going to embarrass myself and say Kyle Seager. It kind of sounded like similar Kyle Seager.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't
I don't
have
know
been
if he's
bad.
on the list, but
I feel like Kyle Seager kind of only started to break out though in like 2015 or 2016.
Kyle Seager is currently
2016.
33 years old. He's played 11 years in the bigs. He's not on the list. That's why I'm telling you guys this. He's got 240 home runs and 800 RBIs.
okay.
His breakout year was 2016, right?
Yeah, 30 homers and 99 RBIs with a 278. Yeah. All right, so we're kind of out on Justin Upton is what I'm kind of feeling, right?
I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Mike Haber?
Yeah, out.
Yeah. All right. Next gentleman on the list is the third and final reliever on the list. 372 career saves, a 2.18 ERA, 1,026 strikeouts. He was a Rookie of the Year. He has 1 ring. He's an 8-time All-Star and a 3-time Reliever of the Year. Mike Haber, I think we're starting with you.
Jeez.
Is it Craig Kimbrell?
It is Craig Kimbrell, in fact. He nailed that without a damn bit of questioning.
I was waiting for Kimbrell. So
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got to figure there are 3, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
Kimbrell, Chapman, and Jansen. We've been watching these guys for a generation. They're the best of this generation.
Yep.
And here's what I think is the best of those guys, right? This is a dude who has almost 400 saves now. Ben Nissman, we'll start with you. You seem to be the bullpen whisperer. Tell me about Craig Kimbrell and like whether you think you'd put him in.
All I know is there was just a portion of years for the Braves where he was just unstoppable. The save numbers are huge. I mean, is he going to be on the White Sox next year?
He has an option. And a $16 million team option, a $1 million buyout.
The word on the street right now is that they're gonna. The idea is that they'll activate that option and then try to trade him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a big discussion though, because if they don't, and then he's just the 8th inning guy to Hendricks, or maybe they flip-flop those roles throughout the season, then he's not really a closer. And then my question to you guys is, does he have to continue to accumulate stats in order to solidify Hall of Fame status if he's not a Hall of Famer already if he retired today? Because I would think that even if like every single game he basically goes 1, 2, 3. You know, it's going to be kind of forgotten. It'll lower the ERA, it'll lower the WHIP, but is that really going to put you into the Hall of Fame the way the stat saves will?
To me, it's simple. Kenley Janssen, 350 saves, 237 ERA. Craig Kimbrell, 372 saves, 218 ERA. I think without it, I think Craig Kimbrell is in. If we're putting Jansen in right now, I think Craig Kimbrell is in.
You know who my comp is here of somebody who's already in the Hall of Fame is Bruce Sutter.
It's a good one.
He's got 300 career saves in 12 seasons, a 2.83 ERA. He's a Cy Young Award winner. But like, I feel like this is a good comp, and he's in. And
he's in. He only
yeah.
played 12 seasons. Craig Kimbrell has completed 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, we're not saying Craig Kimbrell's done after this year. I would be willing to bet that Craig Kimbrell would be able to go if he gets traded to. How many teams right now do you think would line up to trade for Craig Kimbrell for 1 year?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, he
I
did
think of a lot of teams that need a closer.
Right.
Toronto.
The Angels. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So, all right. We're Craig Kimbrell's a lock right now. If he retires tomorrow, he's in.
I say so.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah.
All right. Jason, next player on the list.
Yeah. All right. So this guy is 38 years of age. He's got 1,114 career runs, 2,027 hits, 331 home runs, 1,055 RBIs, 302 lifetime average, 416 on base, 937 OPS. He's an MVP, 6-time All-Star, and a Gold Glove winner.
Ben Nissman, we'll start with you on this guy.
He's an MVP?
He is an MVP.
Oh, 38-year-old. So it's not Joey Votto.
It is, in fact, Joey Votto.
Okay.
He nailed it without any questions. Joey Votto.
Twice in a row, Ben.
Yeah, 302 batting average. You guys are catching fire here toward the end.
Yep.
416
Because I don't
on base
remember him
percentage.
winning MVP. What year did he win MVP?
2010.
2010.
Wow.
2010, he hit 324 with a 424 on base percentage, 37 home runs, 113 RBIs, and 106 runs scored.
And 36 doubles.
And he was a monster. Like, he's absolutely been a monster for a long time. We just sort of forget because 2020 he wasn't good. 2019 he wasn't very good. And even 2018 wasn't great either, though he had 284 with a 417. But like 12 homers, it all of a sudden tapered off after he got to about 300 home runs. And fine, there are plenty of guys who've gotten into the Hall of Fame with this home run total. In fact, like Fred McGriff, who was a good first baseman in the National League, isn't in at 492. But he was not as good a hitter. Like, this is...
Well, also, I think that's a crime anyway.
But
there it is, the pun of the night for Jason Ashby. Mike Haber, where are you on Joey Votto?
Personally, I love the man because of what he did for my fantasy team this year.
36 and 99 this year.
36
like
and
all
99.
of a sudden he's back.
And can he sustain that for another couple of years? Can he hit 30 home runs a couple of years more?
DH in the NL might help him.
And if that's the case, I think absolutely he's in with a 302 career average. Absolutely.
And you got to figure he's locked up till 2023 with Cincinnati, so he's got
at least 2 more years.
Yeah,
he's not going anywhere. They're not going to trade him. Is Todd Helton a good comp?
I think Votto is better.
Todd Helton in 17 seasons, 316 batting average, 369 on the home runs, 1,406 RBIs.
OBP is crazy, right?
414 for Todd Helton. Votto's is 416.
Yeah, what year did Helton hit that ridiculous batting average?
2000.
Was it? Yeah,
Oh my
2000,
God.
372
Him
batting
and-
average.
370. Him and Garcia Parra both hit 372.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, no, I think that is a good comp. I think that's a very fair comp.
So we're saying Joey
Uh,
Votto is in Ben Nissman?
Well, can you tell me that crazy 2017 year when he went second in MVP to Stan?
320 batting average, 36 homers, 100 RBIs, a 454 on base percentage. He had 50 more walks than strikeouts, 106 runs scored, played all 162 that year as well. He had a 1.034 OPS that year.
I feel like he probably made it in that year, like after 2017.
That was
for
his
me.
10th
Like,
year
he
in
was,
the league.
Like, to me, that was it. Like, even if he didn't have that crazy year this past year, he was still in for me. So yeah, for me, he's a lock.
All right.
Yep.
So we're all in on Joey Votto. All right.
Yeah.
Jason, you're up with the next one.
All right. This guy is 34 years old, 663 career runs, and even 1,500 hits, 158 home runs, 729 RBIs, a 302 average, 372 on base, 831 OPS, a Rookie of the Year, and an MVP, 7-time All-Star, 3 rings, a Gold Glove, 4 Silver Sluggers, a batting title, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Mike Haber, let's start with you.
Okay, so he's a baseball player.
Yes.
He is. He is
That's all I
definitely-
got.
He's done literally everything. Like he is
Wow.
He
The
has
302
done
batting
everything.
average. Oh.
Okay. 34 years old, you said.
correct.
And you said 3 rings
3 rings
An MVP?
and MVP
and a Rookie of the Year.
and a Rookie of the Year.
Oh man. 34 years old. Okay.
3 rings.
Infield or outfield?
Infield. Ben Nissman, your question.
What division did he win the MVP in?
NL West. Mike Haber, your guess?
Oh boy.
That didn't help you. Oh, I got it.
Wait, what did you say? What division did he win the?
MVP.
And you said NL West?
Correct.
He won Rookie of the Year, correct?
He did.
Okay, I know it is.
Okay, hold on. No, I don't know why I'm thinking Buster Posey, but I feel like
You nailed it.
That's
It is
You
Buster
nailed
Posey.
it. Buster Posey.
Definitely.
Yeah,
all
man.
right.
So this is my biggest argument why Yadier Molina doesn't get into the fucking Hall of Fame. Because this guy and Joe Mauer were both leaps and bounds better than him in the same era at the same time. Yadier Molina never sniffed an MVP. He didn't get near Rookie of the Year. Buster Posey did both. Yadier Molina never sniffed a batting title. Buster Posey did 1. Joe Mauer has 3. Buster Posey is everything you would expect to be from a Hall of Fame player. He's done everything, and he's a first ballot lock for me. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yeah, and I would say probably because this past year was good. I mean,
Yeah.
he needed to have that comeback year though, you know, because it's not like 2019 was good. I don't remember 2018 being that good. I don't know what his last good year was prior to this year.
He is going the exact same trajectory as Joe Mauer, right? So he's hitting really well. He hit 320 in 2017, and 284 in 2018, 320 in
Oh, wow.
2019, and 304
Really?
this year. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
He was even on my fantasy team in
But his
2019.
homer totals
I
have
don't
been
remember him
bad,
being
right?
good.
His homer totals
Okay.
are bad. 5
That's
home
fine,
runs in
though.
2018, 7 home runs in 2019,
I don't-
18 this past year. Awesome. He
Yeah.
had a nice bounce back year. He had a
Well, he's
Yeah.
18. He's 18 this year. It was the most since 2015. So, like,
Right.
yeah, that kind of came
He
out of
is-
nowhere.
Right. He is a catcher in what I think is one of the bigger pitchers parks in the game.
Mhm.
So I don't really hold the home run thing against him. I tend to disagree as far as how you feel about him in comparison to Yadier Molina. I still think Yadier Molina is so much better than these guys defensively. So, I do consider that when you're talking about a catcher. But yeah, as far as offensive, yes, he's obviously better than Yadier Molina. And I would say the same thing about Joe Mauer. I don't disagree with you there. I think he needed this year to solidify it for me, but the 3 rings, a Rookie of the Year, an MVP, and yeah, the whole thing.
I'm moving the
Just
screen
that one
share to
missing year in
postseason
20,
because I'm sure
20.
Jason's going to ask about that.
I'm looking at it too. Yeah. 252. 252 lifetime average in 226 at bats. Just 5 home runs. But we've talked about that he's not really the power hitter that some other guys are, but also he's been 13 different series in the postseason. In the 3 rings.
I love the 25 RBIs that he's got in the postseason and the 321 on base percentage. Like that's
no doubt.
That's really good. His OPS in the postseason is only 667. That's not very good. But like again, I seem to find like they have had success with this guy every single time they go to the postseason. This year notwithstanding. I mean, deep runs every single year. Mike Haber, where are you at on Buster Posey?
Oh, I think he's a lock in as well. But I don't think that takes away from what we said earlier about Molina.
Agreed.
So I think we're all in agreement that Posey is 1,000% in. Moving on.
I'm just looking real quick at a comp here. At Jason Varitek. Posey's average is a lot better, but the power numbers are about the same. RBIs are about the same.
The batting average is 50 points worse.
Much worse, yeah.
Yeah. The on base percentage is like 100 points worse.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I think he's a lock. Yeah.
Okay. I'm up on this one, right?
This will be a good one.
All right. This will be a fun one. He is 39 years old tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
1,257 runs scored, 2,624 hits lifetime, 334 home runs, 1,302 RBIs, a career 303 hitter, a 352 on base percentage, 844 for the OPS. He has 8 All-Star appearances, 1 ring. He's a home run derby champion, 2-time Gold Glover, 5-time Silver Slugger, and an All-Star MVP. Ben Nissman, you are nodding profusely. It feels like it's going to come out of your face.
Middle infielder?
Yeah.
Is it Cano?
It's Robinson Cano. It is, in fact, Robbie Cano. Don't you know? We're on this topic again here, going back to our conversation with Nelson Cruz. And now we're going deeper into that rabbit hole because this is a guy who did it twice. Mike Haber, he started with your team and then came to our team. Let's start with you, since you saw him probably in his best years, I would say.
Yeah, but this is kind of a reverse scenario where we found out that this guy was using, but after the fact, after he had his glory years, after he peaked. And for me, I don't even think you can consider it with, especially, with 2 different separate occasions here. For me, I'm out on him.
Ben Nissman, how are you feeling about the New York Mets albatross Robinson Cano?
There was a couple of years where he was definitively the best player on the New York Yankees.
Yep.
But I think it's a question of that when do we believe the whole thing was beginning with him? Like, how long was he actually maybe figuring out a way to get past the tests and was cheating anyway? So if we call it cheating, I'll just say that he was cheating just for the sake of it. But yeah, I guess because that is going to be a heavy cloud hanging over him, I got to keep him out.
Jason, you feeling the same way about our albatross? By the way, we owe, how much money do we owe this man?
28, maybe more.
$24 million each of the next 2 seasons.
Is he going to play on our team next year?
Is anybody going to take that money?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's such a shame because, yeah, I mean, his numbers, without knowing that there was any help, his numbers are off the page.
Yeah.
But
is he better than Alfonso Soriano?
Yeah, I think so because of the batting average, right?
Yeah, but Soriano's got the steals and the power. Soriano had
How long did Soriano do it for?
16 seasons, 412 homers, 270 batting average, almost 300 steals, and 1,150 RBIs for Soriano.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cano is a middle infielder though, and the batting average is that much better.
And
Yeah.
Soriano was a leadoff hitter for a while on the Cubs.
Yeah. I say Cano is a better player.
Okay.
But
that's.
But those are comps, right? Like that's a fair
That's
comp.
a fair comp.
Fair,
Yeah.
totally fair.
If you
And
take away
Soriano's
the-
not in.
If you take away the steroids too, like I don't think would it have effect on his contact numbers because like Cano was a great contact hitter. And
that's kind of my
Robinson
the one
Cano or
argument
Jeff
I have.
Kent. Kent is better.
Kent's not in.
Kent is borderline Hall of Famer to me. I think Kent is like, I could if someone said Kent is a Hall of Famer, I'm like, yeah, he should be a Hall of Famer.
Kent's the better player, so Cano's not a
I
Hall
think
of
so.
Famer because Kent's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So we don't even have to have the conversation about the steroids. Like, he's not good enough.
Right. No, but the other thing is like, I always wonder with certain guys, like Mike was trying to get into like, would steroids even have made the difference? Firstly, steroids, from what I understand, it helps you heal so you're not exhausted and sore the next day. That's where it's the recovery period more than helping you with power numbers or contact numbers. I mean, sometimes you can argue maybe like steroids makes maybe someone worse because mentally they think that they should be better, and maybe who knows. I mean, I'm sure that though we don't hear about it, there's probably plenty of guys that we never found out that they took PEDs. So this is just one case where this guy got caught. So unfortunately, I think that's going to be what his legacy will be. Unfortunately.
So we're all out on Robinson Cano, whether or not his numbers would even be worthy of them. I think that's where we're standing.
His numbers are close.
If his numbers are close, you're still not putting him on the ballot because of the PEDs. So we're out on him. All right. Jason, you're up on the next one.
I think it's you, dude.
It is?
Maybe this. No, this is me. You're right. This is me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He's a 37-year-old, 153 career wins, a 3.43 lifetime ERA, 2,560 career strikeouts, a 4-time All-Star, 1 ring, a World Series MVP, and an NLCS MVP.
A World Series MVP?
Yes.
How old is he?
He is 37.
Mike Haber.
All right. So World Series MVP and NLCS MVP. So should we assume that he was a World Series MVP for the National League?
Yes.
Okay, that's not my question.
But
Sounds like it.
But it is your question. So Ben,
I was kind of asking Ben but then he was silent, and then Joe answered. So I don't. All right, Ben, go ahead. Ask your question.
Was the World Series MVP and NLCS MVP in the same season?
yes.
I knew you were going to go there.
Good question. Good question.
Hold on. Can you give me a second? It's not 26.
I kind of wish that we hadn't done Madison Bumgarner yet. Now that I'm looking at this, like this is an incredibly like Madison Bumgarner
I got it.
style. He got it.
I think I got it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Cole Hamels.
It is Cole Hamels. Very good. That is. You
Shut
guys
up.
are batting
Yeah.
1,000. You guys are on fire right now. Cole Hamels on this one. Yeah, man. 163 wins. That's kind of where I would want somebody to be at this point. Do we think he's got or is this guy done? Like, he didn't throw this year and he had an injury when trying to come back. Is he done? And if so, is he in? 3.43 ERA, over 100 losses. Looks like a strikeout per inning, roughly. World Series with the Phillies.
Yeah, his postseason, he won the NLCS and the World Series MVP, but like his numbers aren't great in the postseason.
No, they're not. A 3.40. Well, the 3.41 ERA is right in line with his career. 7-6. I mean, okay, it's up in the air there, but like 93 strikeouts to 100 innings. It's about a strikeout an inning, roughly. It's 9.3 every 10 innings. So what was his K per nine?
How many very good seasons did he have?
Let's see. 15-5 with a 3.39 in 2007.
Wow.
14-10 with a 3.09 in 2008.
Oh, okay, that's good.
196 strikeouts.
He has a lower ERA and more strikeouts than John Lester.
Yes.
Who we were all going, he's in.
I didn't.
So, well.
3 of us said Lester was that.
Most of us did.
The thing is, though, John Lester also has 3 rings.
Sure.
Like, and one of those rings was what Cole Hamels did for the Phillies in 2008. In the 2016 Cubs.
Yeah.
Lester also went to 2 more World Series and performed well. Like, that's my differentiator here. He's only a 4-time All-Star. Like, you've played 15 years and they only I think that's something.
I don't. You know why I personally don't think of the All-Star thing as much as other people is that sometimes guys don't have great first halves and then they have very good second halves.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about an All-Star selection, you're talking about a guy's first 3.5 months.
Right.
It's not necessarily a great dictation of what the guy was for that season.
So Cole Hamels never finished above 5th in Cy Young voting.
That's another thing. That's just voters.
Agreed. But like, that is a good indicator of who he was up against, who were his peers at the time. Clayton Kershaw, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee.
They're all on the same team.
Right. Ian Kennedy had a nice year that year. Tim Lincecum was pitching at the time. Matt Cain. I mean, these are kind of the names that are around this guy. And I think it's a fair comparison that like Kershaw and Halladay were a league above where Cole Hamels at his peak would be.
Yes.
And for that reason, he's out.
I think Ben brings up an interesting point in the All-Star. Like because I think of Jack Flaherty. I think of that ridiculous second half that Jack Flaherty had, and in what was it, 2019?
Yeah.
But his first half was like gross because I remember he was on my fantasy team that year, and I was like, I gotta hold out for this guy. But he was really bad at the beginning of the year, and if you look back, that Jack Flaherty was not an All-Star in 2019. Like, it's mind blowing because his end of the year numbers are incredible.
Yeah, he finished 4th in the Cy and 13th in the MVP, but was not an All-Star that year.
Yeah,
and he pitched to a 2.75.
I think Max Fried was another guy in 2019 that was like whatever, and then he won like 10 straight starts or like 12, without losing the start or something.
Jack Flaherty's second half that year, an 0.91 ERA across 99 1/3 innings. That's disgusting.
Literally carried me to the championship against Ben.
Yeah.
Literally carried.
So we're saying that Cole Hamels out, right?
I love the ERA, by the way. Like, over a career.
I'm not a lock that he's out. And the thing is, like, I'm looking at his numbers, and like, I've always had the mindset that like, after his Phillies years, he was a complete trash. But he actually did have his first full season in Texas was actually really good.
Yeah.
I think I remember that year in Texas.
Yeah. And he
15
that
and
was
5
also-
with a 3.32. Like, he was the ace of a very terrible fucking Rangers team that was kind of rebuilding after going to the World Series in the back-to-back seasons.
And he was good with the Cubs. You know, he wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
You know, is he in? Probably not. But I don't think it's as, you know, much of a lock.
Definitive. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike Haber?
Yeah, I mean, Jason brought up a good point about the comparison to Lester. So like it really is hard, but for me personally, like I think about both pitchers, and again, this is just intangible, but like I feel like Lester is a Hall of Fame pitcher, and I feel like Cole Hamels is not. And,
I
like,
feel you on that. Like, that's exactly how I'm thinking of it as well.
Can we explain that, Joe? Because I don't know if
Because Lester has 3 rings, and you have more memories of John Lester pitching big games in the playoffs. Fuck, he played a big game for the fucking Oakland Athletics the 3 minutes he was on that team.
Oh, right.
Right?
And
We
they
forgot
blew
about
they
that one
blew-
too.
He pitched well. The Oakland Athletics blew that game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you have
Against
those
Kansas
memories of
City.
John Lester. Tell me, other than the 2008 run,
Wait a
which was
minute.
great and memorable, but other than that, what's a Cole Hamels memory? Tell me a big game Cole Hamels pitched.
when the Yankees destroyed him in the 09 World Series.
Right.
There.
Like, wait a minute. Hold on. I think you got to pull up that 2014 start from John Lester now for me, because now I'm trying to think that maybe he didn't pitch that well that game. I think he started really well, and then the Kansas City Royals started to get to him.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Gosh darn it. We're in a rabbit hole, folks.
It is
We are in a rabbit hole.
2014.
2014 wild card game.
Yes.
All right. And share screen. It finished 9-8. Your winner was Jason Frazier. Dan Otero, the loss. Winning run was scored with 2 outs. It was a walk-off from the Kansas City Royals in the 12th inning. John Lester's line that evening: 7 1/3, 6 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, a 7.36.
Rest my
ERA.
case.
I think they just left him in too long, honestly.
Okay. No, you're probably right.
Yeah.
An inning, a
And the
run in the
bullpen
first,
probably gave
2
up
in the
some of his
third, and
Yeah.
then they got to him 3 in the end.
inherited runners, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
Let's take a look. In the 8th, Lester, single, a steal, a ground out. The runner goes to third, a single, a run scored. Kane steals second and a walk, so it's first and second when he leaves. Single by Billy Butler off Luke Gregerson, and a wild pitch from Luke Gregerson. Those are your extra runs.
yeah, both
Yeah.
2 more runs coming.
Yeah.
That was a nice rabbit hole. Cole Hamels, not a Hall of Famer for that reason. Like, you remember, but like, that's another big game that John Lester pitched in.
Yeah,
And
that's
for
true.
a team that he had like all of how many starts for?
Like 7.
Yeah.
I don't
6.
think Cole Hamels. I don't think Lester's in. I don't think Cole
No,
Hamels
11.
is in, personally.
All right. Final one here. Last guy of the evening. He is 35 years
Felix
old.
Hernandez.
Hey, he nailed it. What a great
Wow.
guess.
Mike Haber.
We cut a few guys off during the small break we took, and Felix Hernandez was one of those bubble guys that we were like, is he in? Is he out? What are we feeling? I don't know. So let's talk about Felix Hernandez. 169 total wins on his career, 136 losses, a 3.42 ERA, 2,524 strikeouts, 2,729 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a Cy. He's got 6 All-Stars. He got 2 ERA titles and a perfect game. Let's not forget the perfect game. The most recent perfect game at that. There still hasn't been one since. So
Wow.
The sad thing with him is 0.
0 playoff
Postseason.
appearances.
Yeah.
Not a 1. He's Adam Dunn in that kind of realm. Like, I think
Can't hold that against him.
No.
I don't think I'm
No.
I mean,
And
during
he-
his peak, 14 wins, 19 wins, 13, 14, 13, 12, 15, 18. The closest, like, The closest comp I can make to this is like Jacob deGrom the last few years with the Mets, where like he wasn't getting a whole lot of run support, so a 14-14 season with a 3.47 ERA sounds bad, but like he also went 13-12 with a 2.27 ERA in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, that was his Cy Young season. By
That
the
was a Cy
way.
Young Award win. Yeah. He lost 12 games and he won the Cy Young Award.
Right.
Over CC.
I like those 25 complete games too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How are we feeling on King Felix?
And the thing is, he's probably done.
Probably.
I can't believe he's how old? 35?
He's 34. Oh no, he is 35. The last time he pitched was 2019, by the way, because he didn't make a team in 2020.
He signed. Then he signed with the Orioles, didn't he? In spring training. He spent spring training with the Orioles.
He hasn't officially retired. He signed he signed a minor league deal with the Orioles in February, and they released him in March, and he didn't catch on with another team.
Yeah. So he's probably done.
Yeah. But does he make it?
I think he's close. What was that career ERA?
3.42.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to Cole Hamels, isn't it?
Right. But he's got a Cy. Cole didn't get anywhere near that.
No. Cole's got the postseason accolades.
Sure.
Cole Hamels actually has more strikeouts than him. That's surprising.
Yeah. This was a guy
over more time, huh? More innings from Cole Hamels.
2,729 innings for the King. Cole Hamels was. Oh goodness! Now I'm going into the wild card game. Cole Hamels was 2,698.
Okay,
roughly the same number of innings,
but more strikeouts. Less innings, but more strikeouts from Cole Hamels. Believe it or not.
Yeah, Felix has 2,500 strikeouts. Cole Hamels has 20. Actually, that's pretty similar as well.
Okay.
Same number of years, same number of innings, same number of strikeouts, roughly the same number of wins. It's the Cy and the perfect game.
It's
and the two ERA titles.
There was
none of those things Cole Hamels did.
Yeah. There was a time when, like, if you got this guy on your fantasy team, you were like, my staff is good. Like, I'm good until, like, the, you know.
Yeah,
I can get a solid number 3 and feel confident about my staff.
Yeah, I don't know if that does it for me though.
No, I'm not saying that necessarily puts him in the hall. I'm just saying, like, he was up there as one of those reliable aces for a long time. It felt like.
Oh yeah.
And again, is there intangibles here as being, aside from the lost minor league deal with the Orioles, but like he's a lifer with the Mariners, like. You know, he took the ball every single day, like or every fifth day. You know, he I don't know, like
200 innings or more in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's no wonder he sucks now because his arm probably has fallen off. But
yeah,
like,
that's 1,600 innings in 8 years. That is a lot of work.
Yeah, started when he was 19 years old.
Yeah.
So a lot of work.
Yeah. He threw 190 innings as a 20-year-old. 191, 190, and then that streak of 200. And I'm not talking like he went 202. Like, dude threw 249 and 2/3 innings in 2010. That was his Cy Young season. He threw 250 fucking innings. By the way, we had one person go over 200 innings this season. Just saying.
Oh, one pitcher?
One pitcher.
One pitcher.
That's it.
Scherzer?
No.
He was on this list.
Yeah.
Wainwright?
Adam Wainwright is the only guy who threw 200 innings this year.
Wow.
There's only 3 pitchers who throw over 180 innings in 2021. I was preaching about fucking innings limits, wasn't I?
Yeah, I feel like we've when we talk about Zach Greinke, we think he might be in. You guys think Wainwright will be in, and then Lester, and it's like, have we started to kind of lower the bar on like who should be a Hall of Famer? I don't know.
I think the bar is lowering itself because you're not going to get 300 wins, 3,000 strikeouts.
That's
It
right.
just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
That's
You're
right.
not going to get 2,500. You're not going to get 250 innings in the season. So the bar has to be lowered, otherwise no one's getting in.
Felix Hernandez. I feel like based on what he did, if you, as Ben said, you can't hold the fact that his team didn't make the playoffs against him.
Right.
So if I'm saying Cole Hamels isn't in, and the only reason that Cole Hamels would get in is a run in the playoffs, I can't hold that against Felix. I think Felix is in with 2 ERA titles, a Cy Young, and a perfect game.
Yeah.
I think he's in. Mike Haber?
I was kind of leaning in that direction too. Like he's one of those guys that he's in that category. You think about like dominant pitchers in their peak.
I wish he had 30 more wins because he had
Me
a fucking run, like he had an offense behind him, right? If this was
Right.
199 wins, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
You can't hold what his team did against him.
Or didn't do.
Exactly.
Yeah. At the same time, I also don't think like I think of the perfect game as being part. Like Philip Umber threw a perfect game. Like there have been some random ones that have thrown perfect games. So I'm not. I hear you on the 2 ERA titles. I hear you on the Cy Young. I hear you on 8 straight years with 200 plus innings. I don't think Cole Hamels did that.
No.
I don't think Lester did that.
I don't think so.
No.
I doubt it.
No,
Wainwright
nobody does
definitely
that.
did it.
Nobody does that.
All right, I'll say Felix is in.
Yeah, he's in for me. Like
All right.
when you think of Felix, when you think of peak Felix Hernandez, you think of a Hall of Fame pitcher. Like
You know, it's interesting though. You guys were going to take him off the list. I'm curious as to why.
I wasn't.
That's interesting. Yeah, I kind of pulled his name. And you know what? I don't think I had done enough looking into exactly how good he was. The 200 innings thing just blows me away. And the fact that it ran from like when he was 20 years old through when he was like 28 or 29 of 190 innings or more. It's just insane.
And that's just it. It's a stretch of dominance. And when I think of Cole Hamels, I don't think of him as a dominant pitcher. Like, yeah, he had good numbers over his career, but like he wasn't dominant. Felix is one of those guys that batters like feared when they stepped into the box, right? They didn't want to face him. The Koufaxes and the Verlanders and the Scherzers. He's that guy to me.
See, I think Felix Hernandez also has a career that stands just a bit higher than someone like Johan Santana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Johan's got a couple of size, and he won a Triple Crown, and he has 3 ERA titles.
That no hitter ruined him.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he gave his left
did.
arm to the Mets organization for that no hitter. Like I will forever be in debt to that guy because he gave us our no hitter.
Yeah.
But I think Felix's career is better.
Yeah, it is. It is. By the way, I hate when people like Craig Carton insist that it's a one hitter from Johan Santana, not a no hitter, because Beltran's ball hit the line. I hate that. And no one talks about the fact that, but like striking balls, like those calls are, subjective also all the time. Right. And if we're going to like really get into it and be like, well, that wasn't really a strike, so therefore that guy's no hitter isn't real, like we could do that with every single thing, not just fair or foul or whatever, was it an error or was it a hit? So like it was a no hitter and it always will be. Do you want to talk about Corey Kluber just because we
took him off the list as well. We did take him off of the list before we came back from that quick break. Let's go ahead and jump into him and we'll just sort of finish it off with him. I'll just get his numbers up here. And again, Corey Kluber is a lot like other guys we said, Tim Lincecum and Kevin Brown comes to mind as like somebody who had a dominant couple of years, but not really like any way of longevity. 103 wins, 319 ERA, 1,420 innings, 1,500 strikeouts. He's got 2 Cys, 3 All-Stars, and an ERA title. Postseason, 397 ERA, 45 innings, 47 strikeouts, a 4-3 record. It wasn't very good. In 2017, he was very bad against the Yankees.
The Yankees, yeah, Didi got to him twice.
Yeah.
And they were, and they also, like, even though Cleveland won game 2, like, he wasn't good in that game, and Cleveland kind of bailed him out.
Yeah.
But he was the Cy Young in 2017. That was the year that they won, like 22 or 23 games in a row?
Yeah.
Or something?
18-4, a 2.25 ERA, 203 and 2/3 on the innings, 265 strikeouts. It was a pretty dominant year.
Yeah.
It was a pretty dominant year.
I
His
feel
other Cy
like
Young year was 2014, 18-9 with a 2.44, 235 innings, 269 strikeouts.
Let me ask you guys a question, because in 2016, he was carving out some kind of special postseason as Cleveland had gotten through Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who they got through in the first round offhand. Boston, that's right. Boston beating Ortiz in his last year, then through Toronto in 5 games. And then he's pitching great in the World Series against the Cubs. And they have him in game 7. And he finally showed that he was a human. If he throws a dominant start and he lifts that 1948 curse from the Cleveland Indians and he dominates the Cubs, and he obviously is the World Series MVP that year, are we having a different discussion about him as far as Cooperstown if he actually finishes the job that year?
If everything else stays the same afterwards?
Yes.
Like, he still goes to Texas and his arm falls apart, and he goes to the Yankees and throws a no-hitter. Like,
right.
all that stays exactly
remember, following 2016, 2017 was another great year of Cy Young. So
2018, he won 20 games and pitched to an ERA south of 3. And then his arm falls off.
I still think no. I mean, he's got, what, 5 years?
5 good years. It's 5 good years. Actually, it's 4 good. It's actually only 4 good years. So it's 2014, he won the Cy, 18-9, 244. 2016, 18-9, 3.14 ERA. 2017, 18-4, 2.25 ERA, he won the Cy. 2018, 20-7, 2.89. In there is also 2015, where he went 9-16 with a 3.49 ERA.
That's not bad. I mean, the win-loss is bad, but under 3.5 ERA,
yeah,
it's still not bad.
And the thing is, we talked about Felix Hernandez having 8 straight years of 200 more innings. Well, he'd have 5.
Yeah, but it's only 5 years that we're talking about. We're literally only talking about a man putting together 5 good years.
Exactly. That's the thing. And look, I mean,
Grady Sizemore put together 3.
18 complete games. But no, look, my take is no. 11 years, first of all, is not long enough to really have a conversation about him, which is why we didn't have a conversation about him. And I don't think you can put a guy in for 5 years.
Yeah.
Raul Mondesi put together 5 good years.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
So did Raul Ibanez.
Yeah. They're not Hall of Fame players. Corey Kluber is not a Hall of Famer.
No.
He's not, but I do think that, personally, I think by the end of his career, the conversation is different if he does win that World Series and finishes off the Cubs in Game 7. I do.
Boys, this has been a hell of a show, and I appreciate you all being here with me. Jason Ashby, this was your brainchild. Was it everything you thought?
Absolutely. This was amazing. I'm glad this was our first postseason show, and I'm happy that all 4 of us were able to be a part of it.
Hell yeah. Ben Nissman, thank you for being here with us and continuing to reign as champion of this league.
Thank you for reminding me, and I appreciate you guys doing the research. And I was proud that Mike and I were able to do pretty decently on just getting one question apiece and 30 seconds. Between the 2 of us, I think we did a pretty damn good job. Good job, Mike. Jason, Joe, thank you so much for putting this together. Can't wait till the next one.
Yeah. Mike Haber, thank you as well for being here with us, staying up late on the East Coast.
Yep. Thanks so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. Jason, awesome idea. This was great.
Hell yeah. Guys, we don't know what we're doing next, but we're going to do something fun for you next week. Until then, though, it's been real. It has been fun, and it is always real fun in the bigs. We'll see you next time.